Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei and Vali Were Brothers and becomes #1 virtual reality game player movie 1. Before we start, please go support AndresFelipeSolanoDi for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Issei and Vali is a male. In the year 2035 the popular game, World Ark was born, a game that became world famous. Played by everyone and quickly becoming a global economic power. People can earn money through the game, and those who earn millions are known as rankers. Rankers dedicated themselves to the game as if it were a job. Their fame becomes that of a superstar. I, hyodo Issei, am someone without luck, a normal person, trying to earn money with my brother Vali, also someone without luck. But our life changed, when in a mission we got a class change item. Now luck finally smiles on us. Let's go, Vali. Let's go, Issei. Prologue. Guys, have you heard the rumors in the global community chat? What kind of rumors? Apparently there are 2 guys who cleared the Valley of Demons alone. What? It's impossible for 2 people to have done that. The Valley of Demons is surrounded by thousands of monsters, each of them is above level 100. I know, but 2 guys cleaned it, or so the rumors say. They were wiped out, and there were traces of magic and sword cuts. So let's assume it's true, they have a hidden class and they are rankers. That's the strange thing, they are not in the global ranking, they don't appear anywhere. The global ranking is used to measure the best players, a feat like that, and they are not. Well, achievements are only measured if they register. It is obvious that they are incognito, but there is something else. What? It is said that those 2, well, one of them, his class is a blacksmith, and the other, a creator of artifacts. Blacksmith? A blacksmith. The blacksmith class is only used to forge weapons and armor. It is not a combat class. The same for the artifact creator, they are only used to design artifacts for wizards. I know, in the end a rumor is just that. True, I have to see it to believe it. Are you done, Vali? I'm fine on my side. How are you, brother? Well, I'll finish in a second. There you go. Well, let's hurry up, we have to find more materials, for weapons and some for your artifacts. Well, here we go then. Okay, I follow you. Chapter 1, The Birth of the Heavenly Brothers. Lost Catacombs Dungeon. Gunshots were heard everywhere, there were monsters chasing 2 people. Vali, how I let you convince me of this? Issei, it seemed like an easy mission. Vali, this doesn't seem easy to me. Behind them was the monster summoner. Boss of the Lost Catacombs, Draken the Purger. Draken, repent of your sins. Vali, that bastard keeps summoning monsters, and he's following us in the process. Issei, okay, I admit that it was a bad idea to have accepted the mission with the SSS plus class difficulty, being us barely level 100 with simple classes. Vali, don't worry, I admit that it was my fault too, for following you without thinking about the risk and only thinking about the reward. Issei, anyway, keep running, this mission is tough, but remember we just need to get out of the area and the boss won't detect us. Vali, there are 9 more floors to climb and our stamina is going down, we won't last long like this. Issei, then we should think of a plan while we run. Hello, my name is hyodo Issei, the one next to me is my brother Vali hyodo. If you want to know why we run for our lives, well, it's a long story. In the year 2035, for the first time, a game came out that broke all human logic. A fully immersive game called World Ark. The game made millions just by launching. The developer company Issei designed a world with infinite possibilities. Of course, these capabilities are beyond human capabilities, which is why the game is controlled by an intelligent supercomputer, a super-intelligent AI, capable of thinking about all possible scenarios. One of the things that makes the game attractive is that it is the same as real life in every way. When talking to NPCs, you would not be able to distinguish them from a human if it weren't for the label on the top of their head. The world of World Ark is incredibly large. We could say it's an entire planet, constantly changing. Players can trigger missions around special circumstances. Of course, the more difficult the mission, the greater the reward. And back to the point, Vali and I are suffering because of it. Issei, I got it. Vali, do you have a way to get us out of here? Issei, not to take us out, but to prevent them from passing. Vali, I don't like where this is going. Issei, it's a hyper-realistic game, forget it. Vali, yes, I definitely don't like where this is going. Issei, we are in catacombs where the roof is fragile, right? Vali, if you know that it will fall on us too. Issei, only if we stay behind. Vali, I see, blocking the way, interesting. Issei, my class is soldier, and yours is the same then. Vali, okay, even if they are rubbish beginner classes, we could both break the ceiling. Issei, there is no other way. These would hit the ceiling, causing it to collapse behind them and bury the monsters. Draken, and oh! The stones fell and the chief's cry resonated with anger. Issei, that was close. Vali, sits on the floor, definitely very close, but it's temporary, it won't take long to get through that, bosses of this style aren't stupid. Issei, don't worry, it gives us enough time to recover and continue. Vali, I know it's hyper-realistic, but not everything can be solved with statistics. Issei, you forgot, we invested a lot of points in speed and agility, now I regret not bringing the right balance for our class. Vali, likewise, and to think that we are going through all this hell, for these 2 books. Issei, well, Count Roman gave us the mission for a reason, I don't think they are normal books. Vali, yes, but is it really worth it? Issei, he will give us valuable gold, and that is what we need the most. The gold in the game became part of the world economy, because of how special the game became, it had such an impact, that it is an economic force. The money you earn in the game became part of the real world. Of course, it is not that easy to earn a high percentage of money, that only applies to the rankers. Those in the world top could live their lives comfortably, they are monsters, high-level players and with rare classes, some of them live like rich people or are because of this game. Vali, that's true. Count Roman's mission. Count Roman received reports that the location of a dungeon of great riches has been discovered. Count Roman has business to attend to, so he has given you the mission. Requirements: find the 2 books in the lost catacombs. Rewards: 30 million gold. Issei, honestly, even I can't believe it, I feel like I'm dreaming. How can gold be converted to money in this game? 3 million gold would be 30 million yen. Vali, after this, we can take a break. Issei, yes, we can live comfortably without any problem. Vali, however. Issei, yes? Vali, the mission is pointless, you and I are sure that there are better rewards here, and he just wants the books. Issei, yes, he is not interested in the treasure, I know he is a noble and he is rich, but… Vali, it doesn't make any sense. Issei, if I think about it, this mission is SSS plus class, we were able to sneak away with luck, but seeing the boss and the monsters, we can only assume that these books are not what they seem. Vali, then why don't we look at them? Issei, okay. They took out the books, Vali had a snow-white one, while Issei's was blood-red. Vali, let's see. Book of Albion. A legendary book containing all his knowledge and deeds. It shows its white glow, even in the darkest night. Item, class change. Class, legendary. Issei, this is Drake's book. A legendary book containing all his knowledge and deeds. It shows the red fire of the fight, and the passion of blood in its work. Item, class change. Class, legendary. Issei, Vali, this is a legendary item. Vali, to be more specific, it's a class change and legendary one. Legendary items are the player's greed, and their difficulty to obtain is enormous. But not only that, the items they covet the most are the class change items. Thanks to the supercomputer, there are so many classes in World Arc that they haven't even been revealed. The problem is that you have to get them through quests or other ways. So far, many rare, growth classes have been revealed, and currently there are only 3 epic classes. The legendary classes have not been revealed, even the SA group confirmed that their number was limited. Vali, these books are for switching to the first legendary classes. Issei, This is invaluable. I mean, we would earn more by selling them to players than by completing the mission. Vale, you? Issei, that Count Roman didn't want money, he wanted power. Vale, NPCs are no different from users. The only difference from us is that if they die forever. But for everything else, they can also change class. Issei, shit, that fat Roman. I don't even think the mission will end if we give him the books. Vale, the problem with missions is that NPCs have a mind of their own. They are like people, and even if the mission tells you that it will give you a reward. Issei, sometimes they can change their minds and the mission can be a trap, causing you to gain nothing. So if we go, we would be risking being killed, and since he is a noble, he would prohibit us from entering the Empire, and he would not have any punishment for killing us or betraying us. Vale, when we accepted the mission you saw him, he was a fat womanizer. Issei, but he was a high-level magician and had great swordsmen at his side, if we don't go to him, after spending a long time. Vale, he will send people to look for us, and if he finds out about the sale, Issei, we'll have a hard time. Vale, now, I have a plan. Issei, I don't like where this is going. Vale, we have basic classes, we currently need money. The rankers who have rare and epic classes enjoy their lives for their skills. Issei, are you thinking about? Vale, a long-term investment. Issei, and I thought that after tonight, I wouldn't have to eat instant noodles again. Vale, well, it's not like we have any other options. Issei, but no one has ever changed to a legendary class before. We're not talking about normal classes. Vale, I know, that's why we hope that luck is on our side. Issei, you are size, I guess that's how you are, just like me. I'm so stubborn that I'll support you. Smiles, brothers support each other, in good times and bad. Vale, smiles, then you're ready, bro. Issei, they are books, it's the worst thing that could happen. They would touch the books and immediately begin to glow. Congratulations. You have become the heir of Albion. Congratulations. You have become Drake's heir. You have changed to a legendary class. Issei, everything went well. Vale, it seems so. Warning, all your levels and stats will be reset from 0. Prepare to die. Warning, all your levels and stats will be reset from 0. Prepare to die. Vale/Issei, what the buck? After their bodies exploded, destroying the dungeon. And a voice echoed as he watched the explosion. Draken, so you have used the book. Some of the legends that were dead will resurface in the world, which tells them as stories, and you have forgotten them. Maybe that is why you came back, to prove that the legends are true. This is destiny. I hope to meet your successors again. Although you looted the tomb, now you are their successors. Successors of them, you too prove yourselves, because the world will become very noisy. The boss's last words were spoken, as he admired the crimson explosion, then turning white and disappearing. Congratulations. You have won a title that will become a legend. You have inherited the skills of Drake, the best blacksmith and swordsman that ever existed. Congratulations. You have won a title that will become a legend. You have inherited Albion's abilities, the greatest artifact creator and magician that ever existed. Issei. Your level is 1. Color. Your level is 1. Vale/Issei, we are going to die. Chapter 2, starting from scratch. In the room of a very dilapidated house, Issei and Vale were. They were quickly taking the situation, which had previously happened to them, as anyone would do in their case. Issei, what the hell happened? Vale, you should keep calm, bro. Issei, Vale, with all due respect, we dropped from level 100 to 1, how the hell do I keep calm? Vale, sigh, I can't blame you, it was certainly a surprise. Issei, sighed, then what do? We have legendary classes, but we both know that it will be starting from scratch. Besides, the classes we have are, me a blacksmith and you an artifact creator. Vale, I was certainly surprised for legendary classes, but the classes also said swordsman and mage. Issei, sigh, I've never heard of a swordsman, blacksmith, and a magician who will create artifacts. Vale, me either, but that's all we have now. Issei, Certainly what's done is done. Vala, shall we turn on the TV to see what the news is like? Issei sighed yes. Vala would turn on the television. It was noticeable that it was an old and damaged television, but it worked. Vali, I'm sorry, it's my fault. Issei, what's that about now? Vali, if we had made money, instead of opening the books, we wouldn't be in this situation. Issei, hey, calm down. To begin with, I guided us to that place. It was also my fault. Vala, smiles, let's move on, bro. Issei, sorry. Breaking news. The whole world is in chaos as a global announcement has been made across the game, from the birth of legendary classes. To be specific, 2 legendary classes for the first time. Vala, is that by chance? Issei, that seems like it. Breaking news. Unfortunately, apart from these legendary classes, which are mentioned as the legendary blacksmith and artifact crafter, we have no further information from the players. Those who give information will be able to earn a large sum. In addition to this, the largest guilds around the world are looking for these 2 subjects. It is unknown if the dual class change was a coincidence, or if they are partners. Issei, I didn't think a legendary class change would be announced globally. Vala, I guess there is a lot we don't know about them. So far it is only mentioned in global announcements, the incredibly large events or raids. Issei, yes, this is a problem. Vala, if we were to give information to the news that it is the 2 of us who obtained legendary classes. Issei, we would earn money, but we would be in plain sight. Vali, besides, that's only if they believe us, since our level is 1. Issei, it's certainly not credible. Vala, so to put it in order, the biggest guilds in the world are looking for us, but they don't know it's us, so we're out of their search range for now, since they won't think of looking for level 1 newbies. Issei, also, we can't return to the Empire or Count Roman will execute us and issue a ban on returning to the Empire. In the future that will have repercussions on us. Vali, that being said, we have to find a kingdom where we can settle. Issei, there are different types of kingdoms, but I think one of them would be the Fang kingdom. Vala, the Fang kingdom, I haven't heard of it. Issei, it is a kingdom that is affiliated with the Empire, but it is dedicated to the creation of resources more than anything. People go there to settle down, well, those who want to be blacksmiths or create artifacts. Vali, it sounds like a good place, and it's not a place where a lot of rankers go, so we might be safe. Issei, yes, when we return to the game we will settle down and first of all we will investigate our classes, to level up. After saying those words, tomorrow morning Issei and Vala would enter the capsule, where they would enter the game and head to the Fang kingdom. The place seemed like a quiet area, proving to be a peaceful and worthy city of producers. Issei, the bad thing about this kingdom is that there are few hunting areas. Vali, that aside, we have all the materials in our inventory. Let's get some coins and rent a place. Issei, I guess there is no other way. 10 minutes later. A worn-out place, but huge it could be seen. Issei, it reminds me of our house. Vali, good thing it was cheap, nobody comes here. Issei, that's better. Vali, has an unused smithy downstairs and upstairs is the artifact crafting spot. Issei, then let's check our classes. Vala, okay. Issei takes out a sword from his inventory. According to this I have acquired a sword skill, Dragon Scourge level 1. Vala, in my case I have acquired a magic skill, Acid Rain level 1. Issei, it seems that our abilities are few. Vala, the quests that come after the class will appear soon. As for us, we can only level up. Issei, an effective way would be to kill a higher level monster, NPC or a high-ranking player. Vali, the others would be to use our class in its first use, blacksmith and artifact creator. Issei, by the way, what is the artifact creator class? Vali, is linked to a branch of magic and alchemy. Artifact creators create spheres, orbs, magical explosives, staffs, etc. basically items, for classes with mana use. Issei, it seems like something very difficult. Vali, it is. In fact, all mage class players look for them to have better items. Basically, the artifact creator is like the blacksmith of the mages. Issei, interesting. but you need magic materials. Vali, if that's true, fortunately I have some saved in my inventory, since I was a swordsman and didn't use them, but in your case. Issei, I have recipes for swords and some weapons. Even if he is a swordsman, the blacksmith can equip all the weapons and armor. Vali, blacksmiths have that particular skill, but the cost of using all the equipment like weapons is that they don't reach the damage of a warrior class, but you are a blacksmith and a swordsman. Issei, I guess I compensated for the damage. Valid, interesting. Issei, shocked. Valid, check the passive skills section. Valid, shocked. This is maybe leveling up again won't be so hard. Issei, a legend doesn't die easily, we have 5 seconds of immortality. Vali, besides that we are immune to CC. Issei, being immortal for seconds is already a wonderful thing, but immune to CC. CC, crowd control, is used in the gamer world to describe a specific skill or power that temporarily reduces a character's ability to fight. For example, a swordsman would have the advantage against a melee mage. His partner would not be able to arrive in time to prevent the mage's death, but if the mage performs a CC attack such as stun, the wizard would be able to buy time and damage the enemy by immobilizing him. His partner would join the battle, then the wizard and his partner would finish off the swordsman. Also, effects like poison, etc. are considered CC skills. There are a wide variety of abnormal states or debuffs, which can be applied to a player. Being immune to CC is practically being immune to any type of debuff that exists. Vali, smiles. My intuition wasn't wrong, the legendary class gives you an absurd advantage. Issei, at this point, the game isn't broken? Vali, yeah, the creators said that legendary classes are an achievement and reward for those who go through so much pain. Basically, reading between the lines, they said, go through hell and get your reward. Issei, this will help in the future. For now we just have to practice before fighting. Vali, let's start. I'll go to the second floor. By the way, this job can give a lot of explosions. Issei, okay. The two headed to their respective places, starting again in this game. As Vali took out the magic materials, analyzing them using his mana, everything was a new topic for him, who previously used the sword, carefully handling the details of the artifact he was going to create. As for Issei, he was fiercely forging metal. He had never made a weapon before, so he didn't know what to do, but it was clear that it would be a first-class sword. 2 hours later. Congratulations, you have created Mana Bomb. Item class, Epic. You gain 5+ stat points to your distribution. Congratulations, you have created Black Sword. Item class, Epic. You gain 5+ stat points to your distribution. Vali would go down to the first floor to describe this. Issei, yeah, it's crazy, but how did it go? Vali, well, I tried to create mana bombs, but his class was epic. Issei, in my case this sword is the same. Vali, the materials they weren't the best. Issei, I guess the class skills help us. Vali, this is crazy. Now I understand why they return us to level 1, to realize that going up again will be easier. Issei, then I guess now all that remains is to try the items. Vali, as a magician I will only be able to launch my attacks, rarely. Issei, okay. Vali, so where are we going to test the items? Issei, I heard rumors on the web that there is a boss of this kingdom in the depths of the sewers. Vali, well, in any case, giant rats also have experience. Issei, hey, you don't believe me? Vali, I remember that in the past, by guiding us like that we ended up fried. Issei, I'm sorry about that, but this time it's different. Vali, that's what you said in the past. Issei, we have nothing to lose by trying. Vali, certainly there is no other way. The day would pass in the game, the night would come quickly, and those young people would enter the sewer. Once the two were in the sewer, the place stank and the tunnels were large and dark. Vali, the network of tunnels in the kingdoms is extensive. Issei, I heard in the community that once in another kingdom, a player discovered a dungeon that was owned by a noble, then the noble framed him and the entire kingdom chased him. Vali, how did the player end up? Issei, he escaped, But he is not allowed to return to the kingdom and the dungeon. Well, since he has no evidence, he wanders around other territories. Vali, I hope we don't encounter such a situation. Message. You have entered the territory of the Great Basilisk. Issei shocked Vala. Vala, this is bad. In front of them, the tunnel that was once small took them to a fairly large area. Down there was coiled like a snake, his eyes were closed. His huge tongue was drooling, there was blood in his mouth. He had just eaten, as was known, since there were several remains of bodies next to him. Issei, to Basilisk. Vala, silence Issei, if you speak loudly he will wake up. Issei, in a kingdom of producer people, who makes one of the most annoying and difficult bosses for level 100. Vali, it's certainly crazy, but it's a good opportunity. Issei, if you know that we are dead being level 1, with the materials I only have a sword and you have explosives. Vali, if we use a plan, we will succeed. Issei, so what's the plan to kill that thing? Besides the boss is sleeping, we haven't seen his level. Vali, well, it could work as long as he keeps sleeping. Issei, are you planning to deal critical damage in a passive state? Vali, I will activate 6 mana explosives. After that you will be in front, and I will look for their weak points to use the rest of the explosives. Remember, unlike your sword, my creations are for single use. Issei, to hell with it, let's go. He would get off, approach the basilisk, his steps were silent, Vala prepared the explosives. Arriving in front of him, Issei was able to confirm his status and level. Issei, go back off, this is not a normal basilisk. After those words, he received a blow from the basilisk's tail, sending him flying. Vala, Buck, this was out of the plan. Issei, TCH stands up, I keep wondering who the hell brought something like that here. Queen Basilisk. Female basilisk mutated by external sources. It has been fed by mysterious people for a long time, causing abnormal evolution and mutation. It has entered into reproductive stage and is pregnant. The Queen Basilisk senses external threats. Boss, level 250. Defeat the Basilisk Queen and prevent her from having her children. Failure, possible future chaos in the Fang Kingdom and death of thousands of innocent people. Chapter 3, The Power of a Legend. The situation around us is not bad, it is terrible. I was sent flying and Vala is currently being preyed upon by that Basilisk Queen. Issei, hey, seriously, this is getting worse and worse, this is bad, my health is on the floor. It didn't kill me because of the base stats of the armor. Without it I would be finished. Vali, shit, I didn't see that coming. Basilisk roars. Vala, she is very angry. Basilisk jumps on him. Vala, well, it's time to try the mana bombs. This would launch the mana bombs and a huge explosion would close the mouth of the Queen Basilisk. Basilisk screams in pain. You have dealt critical damage to the Basilisk, 200,000 damage. Issei, what? How did I not think? The bombs are of epic quality, but I did not imagine this absurd damage. Issei would approach from behind the stunned Basilisk Queen to attack her. Issei, then I'll try this dragon whip. Basilisk covers himself with his tail. Shock. Impact. At that moment, when the queen covered herself with her tail, it would be cut off. You have dealt 300,000 damage to the basilisk. Vala, that's amazing. Issei, the damage was reduced by shielding? Issei, no, I have physical penetration. It was true damage. This ability seems to ignore the physical defenses of enemies. Vali, I see, but still. Issei, yes, despite the great damage we caused, we only took away half of his life. Also, the reigning basilisk is regenerating. While you are in the area, your regeneration will continue forever. Vali, damn, all the damage is going to go to shit if it heals forever. Issei, it's not a normal boss after all. Vali, yes, besides having legs, a basilisk should be like a snake. Issei, the mission said mutated by external sources, so. Vali, someone is constantly feeding him and wants to see this kingdom destroyed. Issei, possibly. Vala, What do we do now? We can get out of the boss area and prepare better now that we know we have a chance against him. Issei, I don't think it's that easy. If we leave now, it will count as a mission failure. Vali, he's not going to move, he's going somewhere. Issei, no, his offspring. Yes, you already saw the mission. Basilisk offspring throughout the kingdom. In the future it will be chaos. If we let them go, we will never catch them all. Vali, tch damn, it looks like our only option is to kill her now. Issei, Vala, there is a chance. Vali, I'm listening to you. Issei, can you activate all the bombs with designated time through your mana? Vali, yes I can, why? Issei, put them all on my body. Vali, you're crazy. Issei, the damage from all those explosions, plus the damage from my ability, will totally annihilate him. Vali, we're talking about you dying, just look at your health. Issei, we are not going to die. Smiles, did you forget? We are legends. Vali, surprise, clever, I know what you want to do. Issei, then I'm counting on you. Vali, leave it to me. Vali would start putting all the bombs in the armor quickly. The basilisk would regenerate. It would soon be full life again, but they wouldn't let that happen. Issei, let's go. Vali, you only have one chance. I have no more bombs. Basilisk roars. The basilisk feels a strong threat. The basilisk tries to use sound to stun you. You have resisted. Issei, I'm so sorry, I'm immune to CC, you hitch. Basilisk opens mouth. Vali, now bomb activation. Issei, dragon whip. After that the basilisk swallowed Issei, but the activation of the bombs filled the basilisk's mouth with fire, plus Issei's ability, caused the energy wave to be wrapped in flames, burning and cutting the basilisk in half. You have dealt critical damage 500000. The basilisk has the burning effect, its health decreases. The basilisk has the bleeding effect, its health decreases. You have entered the immortal state for 5 seconds. Basilisk writes. Issei, now it's worth it. In that second, words pass through Issei's thoughts at high speed. Issei, I know what you're thinking, damn monster, if I recover I can kill the two who used up their weapons. It's not like that, but unfortunately for you, Vala and I are rising legends. Vali, acid rain dies. I worried about Issei's death, but I forgot the passive immortal state. When health is low, Issei would stop you there, and I would finish you off with my ability. Performing tests, I determined that the acid ability is super effective for enemies with bare skin. Guess what, Basilisk Queen? You are a monster with bare skin. Basilisk screams in agony. The Basilisk Queen screamed in agony as the acid rain pierced her. The acid burned her skin. Even her eyes became bloodshot until they burst. In the end, the Basilisk Queen fell. You have dealt 200,000 damage. The enemy had exposed skin. The damage is doubled. They have killed the Basilisk Queen. Rewards: Dark Sphere, Magic Crystal, Monster Heart, Basilisk Skin, Basilisk Teeth, Basilisk Eyes. Level up, level up. Level up, level up. Level up. Level up. Level up. Level up, level. Up, level up, level up, level. Up. Level. Up. Level. Up, level up, level up, level up, level. Up. Level. Up. Level. Up, level. Up. Level up. The status window was crazy. It kept saying level up for both of you. Issei, we did it. Vali, almost. Brave heroes who have saved the Fang kingdom. Although their achievements are secret, they have saved the kingdom. For that goodwill, the goddess gives them a kind reward. The goddess Rebecca gives them her luck. All hunting experience and gold are increased for 1 week. Vali/Issei, fat prize. Issei, who would have thought that this would be the real reward? Vali, honestly, the materials of a mutated monster are already great, but this is just beautiful. Issei, we'll be able to level up faster. Vali, in addition to earning gold, which will benefit us. Issei, great, but because the goddess gives us a reward, it wasn't a mission from the church. Vali, you? Issei, Vali, do you think we got into something bigger without knowing it? Vali, no quest has been triggered, so that doesn't seem to be the case. Anyway, let's go. Issei, yes. In this game, the existence of the gods is basically something important. It has a great impact on the game, and all this is due to the church. The developers did not want to give information about the gods. They gave little information on important topics, in order to discover everything ourselves in the game. But we soon realized that in this game, heaven existed. The church is a seat of immense power. Each church worships a god. But Rebecca is the most acclaimed of all, and the most important, since she is naturally the main goddess. The enemy of the church, you would say, are the demons. Error, you are half right and half wrong. The true enemy of the church are worshippers of the god HITMAN, a being described by the church as the creator of demons, and a being that seeks to destroy the world and bring chaos. Their servants, or rather this religion, is forbidden. You lose your head if you are from this church. However, their apostles are not a game. Even players can establish relationships with this church. After all, in this game, freedom as in the real world is something that exists. Overnight you could go from being the hero to massacring innocent children and villagers. And what would feel real about this is that they don't revive. The game was programmed so real that if you kill the NPCs, they will never come back. Vali, I hope Rebecca's thing isn't because of HITMAN, because I don't want any problems with that church. Issei, yes, HITMAN is mysterious, his methods are cruel, and the players he has as allies are dangerous. It is better to avoid everything related to them. Vali, for now we must work hard on our own. Issei, by the way, how far did we go up? It was a 200 and something boss, right? Vali, since the EXP is divided between you and me. Issei, hey, I only leveled up to level 50. Vali, what did you expect? To level up to 100 in one go. As you level up, leveling up another is more complicated. At least with the EXP bonus, farming monsters and hunts will allow us to quickly reach level 100. Issei, yes, it will be a fight to go up and get the second advancement. Advancements after level 100 are bucking hard. That's why people covet experience like crazy. Plus, after a breakthrough, your strength increases along with your potential. Vali, by the way, have you distributed your stat points? Issei, not yet, I want a harmonious convergence. Vali, for swordsmen that is ideal. Issei, yes, but in your case it's the same, right? You just focus on mana. Vali, it's not that easy. Unlike you, the mana statistic is very complicated, since I have to see what I should raise it with, whether resistance, intelligence, or endurance. Issei, magicians don't do everything by hand. Vali, yes, it is true that wizards put everything into mana, since it is their main strength. More mana, more spells and power on the field, but they have a weakness. Issei, weakness? Vali, the use time increases for stronger spells. You even get hurt by your own attack, since your defense is low. Issei, I see, then you want to investigate the statistics of the magicians, for a harmonious convergence. Vali, yes, I want to be the strongest and best magician possible. Harmonious convergence is one of the things that rankers look for. It is because your strength increases explosively. To put it clearly, convergence is having stats at the same level, balanced in the right digit. By doing that, your power stands out. This world is not so different from the laws of physics, if we remove the fact that magic can do things against those laws. But what I mean is, if a player had 1,000 stat points to distribute, if he already has 1,000 points in strength and decides to distribute them in speed, the attack would be added to the speed with which I charge the blow and the force with which I launch it. It would be a devastating blow. The swordsmen worry about that, and from very early on they save stat points to distribute. Issei, although being immune to CC, you are already very optimal. Vali, smiles, but we both know that in this world there are stronger existences. Issei, yes. Vali, by the way, we must make the most of the advantage we have. Issei, exactly. Vali, after this great reward, we need two things. The first is in my case to create more weapons, since spells take time and I only have one. Issei, then I will have to create armor and weapons, since as a swordsman I only have one skill. Vali, that's why we'll focus on blacksmithing and artifact creation. We don't know to what extent we can gain stats, so I think taking advantage of it is the best thing to do. Issei, but we won't waste the blessing? Vali, we will lose 3 days, but I think it will be worth it. Issei, what exactly are we looking for? Vali, if we want to take advantage of the blessing, we can't go hunting like everyone else. We have to go to special places, like this place where the Basilisk Queen originated. Issei, do you even think? Vali, easy Issei. How do you take advantage of a gold and experience buff, killing bosses? Let's find a place with the biggest boss monsters. In the real world, at the headquarters of the World Art game, a board meeting was held. The director was smoking and dressed casually. The attitude of the members was very serious. We need to talk seriously about this issue, Director Jack. Jack, what exactly should we talk about? Please, Director, take this topic seriously. We are talking about legendary classes. Jack, sigh that I guess there is no other option. Go ahead, I will listen to all your doubts, or rather, they are complaints, aren't them? Vice Chief Gref and Head of Resources Gemma. Gref, both legendary classes need to be nerfed. This power is just ridiculous. Gemma, I just want to know, why do legendary classes have these powers? Jack, I'll get straight to the point. It's not obvious to compensate someone for living through hell. The meeting that was taking place showed a tense atmosphere, after the words and attitude of the director. Chapter 4, About Legends. The board of directors was silent at Jack's words. Gref, but this is... Jack, I know you have complaints about the power level, whether it is correct or not, but unfortunately it is like that. Legendary classes are golden eggs for users. Having that power level is the reward for the efforts they made. Gemma, I understand the point, but won't the players think it's absurd and unfair? Jack, Gem, since when it was the World Fair, we can't please everyone. That's why if you want something you have to do it yourself. If we nerf those players in the game, we break one of our policies, which is to interfere with the game system, which we are not allowed to do, even being its creators. World Arc is a world where all users can enjoy complete freedom, like in the real world, and based on their achievements and decisions, constantly change the course of the game. Gref, sigh, you're right, forgive my boldness, I thought more about the balance. Jack, the balance will adjust itself, don't worry about it, although these guys may give us more than one surprise. Gemma, what does that mean? Jack, Sarah, can you tell them? At that, one of the female board members stood up. Behind her, the background of a house with a lake is seen. Apparently they all had a hologram behind them, representing their tastes. Sarah, it's because the classes, Heir of Albion and Drake, were not made to be obtained by players. After her words, the entire board was shocked except for Jack and her, who knew about it. Gref, what do you mean? Sarah, as you know, you and some of the board members are not members of the original development team. Gref, I know, most of the original development group retired and are living comfortably, enjoying part of the profits, leaving a few of the original development team, you and Jack among others. Sarah, sighs, although as always they are missing, and they don't come to our meetings. Jack, Sarah, please get to the point. Sarah, yes, as I said, those classes are not to be obtained by a user, on the contrary, they are for NPCs. Jack, some legendary classes were created so that they could be obtained through missions such as defeating a monster or completing certain requirements. Sarah, but others were created based on the fact that they were obtained for the NPCs, or rather the NPCs would also have legendary classes, either to expand the game in various ways or other types of interactions. Jack, of course the original storyline is altered based on the actions of the players. Morphus, the supercomputer and intelligent AI, predicts all actions and is responsible for giving rewards, based on the actions of the users, although some, of course they are few, take their time if they are huge achievements. Gref, so you're saying that the Drake and Albion Air classes were for NPCs? Jack, look at this. In the middle of the table, a holographic screen that had the video of Issei and Vali is shown. Sarah, originally, users had to accept Count Roman's order and give him the books, not open them. so they would get the money and the NPC would get the power. Jack, however, users obviously wouldn't get far with Draken. Sarah, although there was a chance that they would escape from the grave, but it was low. Jack, anyway, what caused this was Count Roman's bad reputation. Sarah, that's right, the users should have acted based on this. Count Roman is one of the womanizing NPCs, as well as the most bloodthirsty. Simply his bad reputation was what led them to commit this action. Jack, basically they thought I wouldn't give them the reward, and they thought the best option was to open the books. Gref, so what was the main story that would take place if they handed over the books? Jack, he gave them the money, as he felt very pleased for the first time and Count Roman obtained the power of 2 legends. He became a complete and absolute villain, who threatened the Empire. This would create a global mission to stop him and kill him. He died and the classes with him. That was the end. Sarah, basically the inheritance of Drake and Albion. It was designed not to be transmitted and to be lost with their death. Jack, they have legendary classes that they shouldn't have. No, they shouldn't even be developed. Gref, this is amazing. So how many legendary classes for NPCs that players could obtain are there? Jack, it's hard to say, but there are many more than we think. We could count the classes that Morphus planned for users, but not for NPCs. Gref, damn, who are Drake and Albion, being a blacksmith and swordsman, as well as an artifact creator and magician, is it even possible? Not many NPCs in the history of World Arc had 2 jobs. Jack, both classes focus more on production than attack. Of all the legendary classes, those classes are the weakest in strength. Upon completing all the class quests, it is predicted that in combat they would be inferior to other legendary classes. Gref, then I can rest easy, even if the classes are legendary and for NPC, they won't go very far. Sarah, no, I think the opposite. Gref, hey? Sarah, the classes are originally production classes, but through missions users can become stronger, and in addition to this, as I see it, creating items gives them stat points. Of course, when they make a certain number of legendary items, these points will be reduced, and if they want more points, they will have to make higher level items, and little by little the points will be reduced, until you need high level items. Gem, it's true that getting stat points for crafting items is amazing, but if you get down to a certain amount of legendary items, the balance remains. Sarah, so I ask you, if they give points for each item they create, and with them they strengthen the stats, what happens if they continue creating items and finish legendary the items later than expected? Gemma/Gref, shocked, that's it. Jack, basically here their bad luck, it is luck and they will benefit from it. Gref, the world will turn upside down when this is known. Jack, and that's not the worrying thing. Gref, what exactly is worrying? Jack, they are production classes. They can create legendary items and those are the most requested items. If you want items like that, you go to a very high-level dungeon, raids or get materials, in which case, you have to pay a lot, even a good blacksmith, who only reach epic at most. Gref, you're not talking about. Jack, they currently have the monopoly on legendary items going forward. Sarah, yes, those 2 guys could create objects and sell them at a high price, make money from it. Jack, not to mention that with higher level items you make raids easier. They may well be production classes, but that's their strong point. Gref, still, it all depends on the actions of the users. There is no guarantee that the 2 weakest combat classes will become the strongest. Jack, true, there is no guarantee that it will happen as tense. We are not the supercomputer, but those 2 boys act with intelligence. Besides that, sometimes they are unpredictable. Sarah, especially Vali, he takes coherent actions. He was responsible for both him and Issei making the decision to change class. He is very resourceful, on multiple occasions. According to the records, his cunning has saved his skin and his brother. We believe that if he played alone he would develop as a great ranker. Gemma, then why didn't she do it and continue with her brother? Jack, because his brother is just as amazing or even more amazing than him. At that moment the images changed to past battles and the Basilisk's mission. Gref, that's it. Jack, if Vala is cunning, we could say that Issei is unpredictable. Based on their actions, both have developed without problems. In situations that clearly had the disadvantage, Even with Vala's predictions, Issei used uncommon or conventional plans, in other words, almost suicidal. Gref, this is. Jack, it is difficult for some to get used to the common classes when starting the game, but these two, when together, showed rapid development. The reason for their low level is only one. Sarah, they only accepted missions with gold. Gref, what? Gemma, I understand. So based on that, it is normal that his development was decimated. Gref, so they were both more interested in gold than in moving forward? Jack, remember what our position is. This game is currently worldwide. Everyone plays it, even parents, and gold is redeemable in reality. It is to earn money by playing. Those who play like this is because of a low-income family situation. Gref, but now with those classes they could solve all their problems. Jack, for now it's interesting to see how they will develop in the future. Gref, we can't do anything but watch. By the way, what changes did the Basilisk mission bring? Gemma, according to what I see, the mutated Basilisk would have had children, caused chaos and killed thousands of people. It would become such a plague that it would destroy the kingdom. Jack, that was the original goal. Gref, now that he has been defeated, the kingdom remains. The problem is. Jack, yes, the Yatan Church was originally an act to make the destroyed kingdom a base. Among its ranks, some could control monsters. Having a base in which to operate would be very useful for organizing attacks. Gemma, however, not knowing that they arrested him, there is no hostility on the part of the church. Jack, not yet, but there will be in the future. They got into a church mission without knowing it. Gref, what are the players doing nowadays? Sarah, well, they are creating their respective objects. With Issei and Vala. Issei, then I think we could create an item for you. If you and I combine skills, we can make you a strong mage equipment. We will be ready to kill bosses and take advantage of the buff, experience and gold. Vala, okay, have you thought about the materials yet? Issei, for the staff, I think it would be best to use the rewards of the Basilisk Queen, the Dark Sphere and the Magic Crystal, to create the power center. Vala, then I will take care of the fusion of those two and you can forge the staff rod, where it will connect to my mana. Quickly the two began to work. Vala used his magic to introduce the crystal into the Dark Sphere and fuse it. However, an accident occurred as planned. I quickly go down to see Issei. Issei, huh? What's up, Vala? Vala, this. In his hands he would show a small marble. Issei, this is. Vala, the sphere and the crystal. Issei, what? Vali, check your status window. Issei, wait a moment. Dark Magic Sphere. Through the fusion of the Dark Sphere and the Magic Crystal, this Dark Magic Sphere was created. Its power has been greatly increased through fusion, but its size has been greatly reduced to be carried on a staff. Issei, this is a problem. Vali, because of things like this, the creation of artifacts is complex. You can give birth to things that you cannot use. Issei, certainly this sphere is the size of a marble, and although its power has increased, unless a mini staff is made, it will be difficult to use it. Vala, so what do we do? Issei, you are the magician. Is there nothing else you use to materialize more powerful spells than staffs? Vali, let me think. No, honestly, the staff is the main weapon of every mage. Other items like that only in high-level dungeons appear and are weapons imbued with magic. But manifesting magic must be done through the staff, since we need close contact with the sphere. Some use only the sphere, but the size is larger. Issei, spell power is reduced without a staff or weapon. Vali, hugely, just like warriors, mages also need their special equipment. Issei, fortunately I think I've found the solution to the problem. Vala, hey, are you sure? Issei, definitely. You trust the word of a blacksmith. Smiles. After those words, Issei would throw firewood into the oven. The fire began to heat the place. He grabbed a metal rod and the blacksmith's work began. Clang, 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 clang. Chapter 5, Back to Work. While Issei was in charge of forging, he asked Vala for the sphere. After a while he would give him the object. Vala, this is it. Issei, you've freaked out, haven't you? And the best thing is that I also got rewards. Ring of the Night. Item unique. Magic damage, 5000. Increases damage of all spells by 20%. Increases critical damage from magic by 10%. Increases mana by 10%. Casting time is reduced by 30%. Effectiveness of using dark magic is increased by 60%. A ring made of finely cut, hammered and bent iron, attached to a sphere of magic. Allows the wizard to cast spells as a staff or magic weapon, created by a skilled blacksmith. You have created a unique item and you get 20 plus stat points. Valley, incredible. With this ring I can now use magic without problems, and since it is a ring, the enemy could lower their guard. Even trying to destroy or remove the weapon is ruled out as an option, due to its size and complexity. Issei, I told you, trust the blacksmith. Vala, you were right. Issei, by the way, did you get stat points when you made that sphere? Vala, yes, but it was epic class, only 5 points. Apparently with our skills, we could create superior objects if we combine our work. Issei, in a way it's true. Vala, well, I'll log off to eat something. What are you going to do? Issei, I'm going to forge something with the rest of the basilisk's materials. Vala, okay. With those words Vala would disconnect, and Issei would get to work. Issei, well, I think I need to think a little. The remaining materials are skin, teeth and eyes of basilisk, plus the heart of monster. I could use the eyes and the heart of monster to make a chest armor, and I could use the skin and teeth for gloves and boots. So Issei started working on it. The sound of blacksmithing echoed throughout the place. After a few hours he finished his work. Issei, honestly, it's a little disappointing, but it's better than nothing. Basilisk boots. Item, rare. Duration, 500%. Defense, 100%. Increases speed by 5%. There is a chance that when attacking an enemy with a kick, the poison effect will arise. Provides resistance to high temperatures by 10%. Basilisk gloves. Item, rare. Duration, 500%. Defense, 200%. Increases attack by 5%. There is a chance that when attacking an enemy with hand-to-hand attacks, the poisoning effect will arise. Provides resistance to high temperatures by 10%. Chest armor. Item, rare. Duration, 1000%. Defense, 500%. When hit, it has a certain chance of poisoning the opponent. By having eyes glued to the plate there is a 5% chance of predicting attacks. It has an ugly and somewhat monstrous appearance just like the mutated basilisk. Vala, Issei, I'm back, why so down? Issei, I got 3 rare forged items. Vala, I see, rare items aren't bad anyway. As a swordsman you must have armor. Issei, I'll definitely look ugly with this thing. Valley, there is no other option, it is better to be equipped. Issei, that's true, well at least they gave me stat points. The stat points that Vala and I were given work out like this: 1 point for a normal item, 2 points for a rare item, 5 points for an epic item, 20 points for a unique item, and 50 points for a legendary item. As of yet, I haven't created any legendary items, although I don't expect to get any great items without putting in the effort. Vala, well, are you ready to go hunting? Issei, do you have a place in mind? Valley, according to what I investigated while I was away, in the Fang kingdom there is a place that has not been cleaned. Issei, what kind of place is it? Vala, the fire cauldron. Issei, I heard about her, but very vaguely. Valley, according to information on the internet, the Fang kingdom once had a huge fire cauldron, which through a system of pipes, generated fire to the furnaces throughout the kingdom. Issei, but all the current forgers use firewood. Vala, the reason for this is because in the past a servant of Yatan cursed the cauldron and summoned fire monsters inside it. As there are many monsters in there, they caused an obstruction. Since then the village has to use firewood. Issei, the caldera won't break? Valley, was created by a giant, hence its size and strength. Issei, true, it is one of the extinct races. Valley, It is worth noting that if we succeed, we will gain reputation as well. Reputation is the fame in the game. The higher your reputation, the more nobles NPC know you, to the point of interacting with you constantly. It is one of the most coveted things in the game. Issei, but that place, why haven't the rankers? Vali, they can't stay inside for long, because the temperature is very strong, to the point of affecting your health. It is a status effect that constantly lowers health, and it is also said that down there are 5 boss class monsters. Issei, normally, normal players wouldn't be able to withstand such heat. Vali, but for 2 users immune to status effects, it's a perfect place. Issei, okay, let's try it. Vali, by the way, I'm sorry you have to put on the armor. Issei, yeah, at least he has defense. Meanwhile, in the real world, the board of directors watched the 2 users. Sarah, this is problematic. Gemma, stat points, they are accumulating them at great speed and they haven't even spent them. What are they planning? Gref, I don't understand why they don't get a legendary item. Sarah, it is because they are newbies in the production field and the chance of creating a legendary item with normal equipment is 5%. Gref, you mean it's because of their tools? Jack, definitely, but they haven't realized they are getting such an advantage without knowing it. Sarah, I guess we can't ask for more than 2 rookies in the production field. Jack, anyway, it looks like they're heading for the Cauldron of Fire. Gref, that place has been dormant for a long time. Users have been given up on that place, and I don't blame them, unless you are a legend or carry a specific item, which counteracts the negative effects of that heat. Health will be reduced little by little. Practically for normal users it is impossible to clean that place. Jack, not to mention that he must be close to that stage already. Gref, what scenario? Jack, due to the blockage, it is normal for the boiler to explode. Gref, shocked you mean that? Jack, according to Morpheus' predictions, if the cauldron was not cleaned, it is full of monsters. After a while it would explode. Due to its enormous size it would cause a great disaster, in addition to the fact that one of the objects classified as myth would be lost, being created by the extinct race of giants. Gemma, wasn't it the pioneer's responsibility to clean it? Jack, yes, but the player Kiba is currently on the western continent. Apparently he is doing quests for his class change. Gref, first place and the most qualified, to get the strongest attack legendary class in the game, hyodo Kiba. Jack, his control and timing is perfect. He is one of the players who give us impossible situations, just like Issei and Vali. Sarah, on the other hand, the strongest classified class is Holy Swordsman or Sword Saint, but shouldn't it be Madra's descendant? With those words everyone's expression became tense. Jack, unfortunately, with that class we took great care and made it one of the hardest classes to obtain, if not the hardest class to obtain. To obtain its power, one must not lose even once, because when they did, they would lose total access to its power. It is a class that was designed for both users and NPCs. Gref, honestly, I hope that with Issei's luck, he doesn't get that class. It would be a problem. If he has 2 legendary classes, the balance would be lost again. Gemma, but Issei already died and has lost many times in the game, then he couldn't get it. Jack, no, technically when he went back to level 1 and became a legend, it's like he'll start over in the game. Technically if he finds Madra's legacy, he could get his class, assuming he doesn't lose from here until then, but what's the chance? Gref, that's true, however why is Sword Saint ranked first after Madra? Jack, it's because Madra's descendant will obtain his power but incomplete. All his abilities are designed to be degraded, no matter how much he grows, and even so, even I think that his power is absurd, according to the data. Gref, another class that worries me is the Archmage. Chapter 6, Cursed Fire. The meeting had become tense, due to the mention of a particular class. How Archmage? Gem, that particular class has shown no signs of appearing. Gref, he will do it sooner or later, and that's what I fear. Sarah, don't worry, no one can get it. Gref, why are you so sure of it, Sarah? Sarah, according to the data, the probability of obtaining the class is less than 1%. Gref, what? I thought it would take no less than 2 years to get it. As I know, it is the reward for completing the Eclipse Tower. located in the Desert of Death. Sarah, unfortunately in the past the great magician cursed the Archmage with not being able to have a successor. Basically anyone who completes that tower will be unable to obtain the class, since they must first break the curse, and even then the tower is not that easy. In fact, it is one of the biggest challenges after a certain floor. Jack, as I understand it, the Grand Mage class is among the classes that have the most variables. Gemma, what exactly happened between the Great Wizard and the Archmage? Jack, in the past, both fought for a difference of ideals about magic. The battle turned to a beautiful meadow into what is now known as the Desert of Death, a place that is now full of monsters. The battle resulted in the loss of the Archmage. Sarah, the Grand Mage was someone who could use all existing magics as well as create new ones, while the Archmage could control mana in its purest state, ignoring casting time on spells, basically instant casting. Gref opens a holographic screen. Both classes are from the main scenario. I'm still surprised that the Great Wizard beats the Archmage. Jack, certainly casting spells would instantly give anyone the advantage, however those spells had to focus on a particular element. Plus the Great Wizard was the strongest of all wizards. He managed to defeat him knowing this information. Sarah, to be honest, we would have to worry about her stage since it is located in the Mountain of Swords. Gref, he chose his resting place on a Mountain of Swords. A wizard? Jack, who says he died? Gref, what? Jack, there is a dungeon in that mountain. There is the wizard, or rather his soul. Gref, it's a joke, right? Jack smiles. That bastard Braham can be a very annoying guy, so much so that he refuses to die. With Issei and Vali, two guards were standing in front of a large cauldron of fire. It had a gloomy setting at the large metal door. The temperature around it didn't seem hot. Apparently the metal door contained all the heat in the cauldron itself. In front of them they saw two men approaching, Issei and Vali. Soldiers, stop. Issei/Vali, stop. Soldiers, state your purpose in front of the boiler. Issei, we came to clean it. Soldier, understood, open the doors. At that moment the huge metal doors opened, letting out the heat. It was so intense that even the guards stepped back. Soldier, come in quickly. Issei, here we go. Vali, you are. The two entered that place. The soldiers looked at their backs before they entered the flames. Soldiers, other fools trying to clean up this death trap. If it wasn't for the fact that it is an object of honor of the kingdom, this giant cauldron would have been thrown away long ago. Inside the boiler, the floor was red hot. The air smelled of molten metal. For some reason, both Issei and Vali weren't bothered by the smell. It was even pleasant to a certain extent. As we went deeper and saw no more monsters, the thing that was killing all the players that entered finally appeared. Vali, here it comes. The temperature of the boiler is extremely high. The high temperature state has been triggered. You will lose health while you are in here. You have resisted. Physical exhaustion in high temperatures will be greater. You have resisted. As expected, the status abnormalities were not affecting them. Issei, you were right, this place is perfect for us. Scream. Vali, what was that? Immediately, intense screams were heard, which did not stop. They seemed to come from further ahead. Then after a short time they suddenly stopped. Issei, it came from ahead, but it was more like an echo. Vali, the curse that the Yanan Church placed here are fire monsters, but that thing. Issei, it didn't sound like a fire monster. Vali, I think there might be something more here. Issei, we will go carefully. As they walked quickly they encountered a horde of fire monsters. Soldiers of Fire. Level 100. Beast created by the 8th great demon of hell, the King of Flames, as a hobby in his moments of boredom. Issei draws his sword. Vali extends his hand. Issei, well, let's make use of this blessing of experience. Vali, I couldn't agree more. Quickly an explosion of mana would occur when Vali extended his hand. You have dealt 5,000 magic damage to all enemies. The fire soldiers have you in their sights. The soldiers quickly rushed towards Vali, but then Issei got in the way. Issei, don't think you can ignore me, Dragon Whip. Shock. Blow. You have dealt 10,000 damage to all fire soldiers. You have dealt 5,000 damage to all fire soldiers. You have dealt 10,000 damage to all fire soldiers. You have killed all the fire soldiers. Level up, level up. Level up, level. Up level. Up level. Up. Level up. Vali, that was effective. Issei, however, these soldiers seem to have a lower defense than the Basilisk Queen, which is obvious, but the damage seems to be distributed among all of them, in such a way that the damage is reduced individually. Vali, yes, as I saw, the damage when you first used that attack was 300,000, now it seems to have been reduced. Issei, do you think all the soldiers here have some kind of symbiotic union? Vali, it seems so, which can be a nuisance. If the damage is distributed evenly among all the soldiers, it could be problematic when we want to focus on a specific enemy, or tedious if some scenario is formed with respect to time. Issei, more than anything, it could be problematic if stronger enemies appear and have the same operation. Vali, for now let's hope not. Issei, by the way, what was that? Vali, what was that? Issei, the area attack. Vali, that's it. We wizards can use pure mana to attack. You don't need to learn or anything. It's one of the most basic spells of all, just like swordsmen can move their swords without making any special movement. Issei, but the damage didn't seem to be a joke. Vali, well, this basic spell depends on the magician who performs it. Added to the ring that we forged, it dramatically increases its damage. Issei, I wonder how much the damage will increase if you start using and learning other types of spells. Vali, when we get out of here we can experience it. They would quickly advance, fighting more soldiers and leveling up. They were taking advantage of the reward from the previous mission, but these beasts kept appearing in greater numbers. It became tedious to kill them. Inside the cauldron, the place inside was huge, and even despite the circumstances of its continuous attacks, the cauldron was not damaged. This caught Issei's attention, who wondered what material it was made of. Vali, Issei, the monsters won't stop coming. Do you have any more potions? Issei, fortunately I never went out without many of them. Vali, the difficulty is starting to rise enormously. I can no longer evade all the damage from those soldiers. There are more and more of them. Issei, still, because of that, I think we've leveled up a lot. Vali, I guess the saying is true, every cloud has a silver lining. The two continued walking, but things started to get strange. The soldiers did not appear. They continued walking and things remained the same. They both looked at each other very seriously at the situation, until as they continued walking, they saw a huge red-hot door. Vali, I think I can understand now why the soldiers didn't appear. It was because of a boss room nearby. Issei, then I guess we should go in. Sharpen. Immediately Issei and Vali's heads turned towards the door. It began to open slowly, while the sound of someone sharpening their sword could be heard everywhere. Issei and Vali slowly entered the room, only to stand still and not move as they watched the enemy. The doors they had crossed closed slowly. Vali, Issei, no matter what happens, stay focused. Issei, I know if that thing hits me I won't come out very well. Vali, that's not a fire monster. Issei, no, it's something worse. Fire Demon Knight. Name Flame. Level 250. A work made by the 8th Great Demon of Hell, the King of Flames, has a certain favoritism for this type of toys, which has even given them their own consciousness. In addition, the fire has made its power increase explosively. Flame, you too. With a somber voice I speak. Vali/Issei, prepare to fight. Flame, are those the ones who have been constantly killing my lackeys? Issei, yes, is there a problem with that? Flame, no, remove the opposite. It means they are strong. That's excellent because you see, I haven't had fun for a long time. Now I can finally do it. I can burn with passion like fire. At that moment the room began to get hotter. It started to make a sound similar to a heartbeat. They realized that this boss room was special. They had reached the center of the boiler, the heart of this. Issei, Dragon's Whip. Blow. Shock. Flame, strong, you are very strong, ha ha ha. The target has received 5,000 damage. Issei, shock, so little. Vali, the dragon whip is Issei's strongest attack, it shouldn't do so little damage unless, of course. Shock. Vali, Issei, get out of the way. Issei, understood. Flame, the other one wants to try his luck. Vali, extends arm, take this mana release. Flame, Mog. The target has taken 500 damage. Issei, what? Vali, Issei, I think this guy can send damage to those fire soldiers. Issei, but we didn't see anything on the way here. Vali, as he said, those soldiers are his lackeys, he surely ordered them to get out of the way. Issei, damn it. Flame, they are strong and smart, I will enjoy this battle more. Incinerate. Quickly a wave of fire launched itself towards Issei, it was so strong that it sent him against the doors. Issei, buck. You have received 10,000 damage. You have been caught by the burning effect, your health drops considerably. You have resisted. Vali, should I have to? Flame, hello? He quickly got in front of Vali, but fortunately Vali reacted, he fired a wave of mana, at that distance he thought he couldn't miss, and it would be critical damage. But he was wrong, the enemy Flame had covered himself with his great sword, and as soon as the attack ended, he delivered a punch to Vali's stomach, sending him against the wall. Vali, shit. You have received 10,000 damage. It was a critical hit, the damage is doubled. The knight who was looking at the two stuck his sword into the ground to speak quickly. Flame, over the years, I've seen a lot of toys come in and die, the few that have reached me were about to break. I'm glad that finally today new toys have arrived, unbroken. His words were heard, but it caused an angry reaction from Issei and Vali, so much so that the two hurriedly stood up. Issei, who the buck? Vali, it's your toy. Flame, you too. Quickly hearing that, both of them rushed towards Flame. Vali, you're going to die today. Issei, I agree. Shock. Blow. Shock. Burst. The enemy blocked the damage, while distributing it among his soldiers, reducing the damage he received without problem. He showed great happiness, he was enjoying this fight. Flame, come on, more, I finally have toys for me, toys that won't break easily. Issei, Dragon's Whip. Vali, Acid Rain. Flame, Incinerate. The attacks collided fiercely, causing a great rumble inside the place. Damaging all three, however the greatest damage would be taken by Vali and Issei. You have received 30,000. You have received 100,000. You have received 100,000. Issei, this bastard. Vali, it doesn't make sense. Issei, as long as he can distribute the damage evenly among his soldiers, this fight will drag on and it will be worse for us. Vali, we have to think of something quickly. Issei, I know, but this bastard might end up breaking us if we're not smart. Flame, yes, my heart burns again, let's fight harder. He advanced towards Issei and Vali, the true cleansing of the fire cauldron had begun. Chapter 7, Hot Fight. Shock. Shock. Blow. Burst. Sparks. Blows between Flame, Issei and Vali were exchanged with ferocity. However, no matter how many times Issei's sword cut his skin or Vali's magic hit in front of him, the damage was still insufficient. You have dealt 500 damage to the enemy. 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 Issei, he's the tankiest guy I've ever seen in my life. Vali, I agree. Flame grabs Vali by the neck to throw him to the ground. Vali spits blood. I hated the realism of the game. You have received 10,000 damage. Flame hits Issei in the stomach. Issei spits blood because the game had to be so real that the feeling of pain is also perceived. Flame, you toys, that's all you have? Issei, Dragon's Whip. Flame, Mog. You have dealt 500 damage to the enemy. Vali, this is crap. He has divided the damage much more between his soldiers outside. We don't even reach 1000 damage anymore. At that moment the situation seemed desperate, until a notification arrived. Issei, this is it. You level up. All your fatigue and health are restored to maximum. Vali, how is that possible? You level up. All your fatigue and health are restored to maximum. Issei, but of course, since I didn't think about it, Vali throws your smoke bombs. Vali, okay. Vali quickly listened to Issei, who stepped back to stand next to Vali, while everything filled with smoke. Flame, what are you making toys? Issei, prepare your grave. Smoke filled the boss room. Nothing could be seen, even though the two of them were standing next to each other. They could barely see each other. Vali quickly communicated through the chat, so as not to make any sound. Vali, what are you planning? Issei, that guy divides the damage between his soldiers, which means that damaging the boss is damaging his soldiers. In other words, possibly the more damage we did to him and the more he divided it, the soldiers in which the damage was distributed may be dying. Vali, if that's true, we may be gaining experience without knowing it all this time, but that doesn't change the fact that the damage is still insufficient. If we want to do any real damage, we must finish off all of his soldiers, so the damage we do must be high and constant. Issei, how many smoke bombs do you have? Vali, I have 5 left. I only bought 6 this week. They are very expensive right now. Issei, we might need them all. Vali, do you have a plan? Issei, yes, but that also depends. Vali, of what? Flame, toys, where are they? If you don't come out, I'll make you come out incinerate. Quickly a wave of fire passed by them, almost touching their heads. Issei, that was close. How many mana bombs do you have left, Vali? Vali, knowing that we were coming to a dungeon, I used most of the materials, or rather all of them. I had to make more. I only have about 45. Flame, damn it, where are the toys hiding? Issei, those bombs have an adhesive function. Vali, of course, they are still explosives. I found out that magicians use them that way too. Wait, aren't you thinking that? Issei, if you already know my intentions, then last question, can those bombs all be programmed at once so that they explode simultaneously? Vali smiles, yes, but I will need time, since I must use my mana to link them. Issei, how much time do you need? Vali, 5 minutes. I can link 5 at a time, so I'll have the bombs ready in 5 minutes. Issei, I'll buy you the necessary time. You transfer the smoke bombs to my inventory, takes out some potions. I'll transfer health and mana potions to yours, so go recover your health and mana to the maximum. Vali agreed. Vali quickly did what Issei said. He transferred the smoke bombs to Issei and started walking, while he stayed linking the mana bombs. Flame, here's the footsteps. There you are, toy. Issei, clench his sword. Flame, today your story ends here in this world. Flame, smiles, come and entertain me, toy. Issei quickly ran towards him, and their swords clashed forcefully, while he looked at his head on. Shock. Blow. Shock. Blow. Flame hit Issei with his arm, sending his sword flying 10 meters back, but Issei punched him in the face. Issei, take this. Flame, you are a fun toy. Flame quickly raised his sword, but Issei kicked the hand holding the sword, causing him to drop it. The enemy has been poisoned. The enemy will lose health. The enemy splits the damage from poisoning. The enemy only loses 1 health point as long as the poisoning continues. Issei, ha, true, this set may be just weird, but it has its thing. Flame gets irritated. What is this damn toy? Hits him in the chest. The enemy has been poisoned again. The duration of the poisoned state is doubled. Issei, ha, it may only be 1 damage per second and the regeneration of a boss monster is greater, but out there are monsters with which he divides his damage and they cannot regenerate. That is, fixed and constant damage hits him in the face. Flame, damn toy, blasphemous fire. His mouth would open throwing out fire, but in turn Issei had already reacted. Attack prediction activated. Issei, I don't think so. Quickly Issei's body would crouch down, dodging the attack. Flame, how did you do it? Issei steps back to grab his sword. What can I say? I have better equipment than you. Chest armor. Item, rare. Duration, 567%. Defense, 500%. When hit, it has a certain chance of poisoning the opponent. By having eyes glued to the plate, there is a 5% chance of predicting attacks. It has an ugly and somewhat monstrous appearance, just like the mutated basilisk. Flame, you are seriously trying to beat me? Damn toy, you made me angry. Attention, the fire demon knight will enter rage mode. In that state, the attack and speed are doubled. Issei, this is bad. It was already a bit complicated before, but now things are getting worse, and the durability of the gloves, boots, and of course the chest armor are decreasing considerably. Flame, toy, I'm going to break you. I'm tired of playing. This isn't fun anymore. The demon would quickly turn black and yellow lines of fire would appear on his body. He approached his sword, took it, and it burst into flames. Issei, the dragon's scourge is not ready yet. I must be careful. Vali, I don't want to rush you, but please finish quickly. Flame, hell, run. Issei, I will receive you head on. He quickly prepared to clash swords, and before he knew it, he was already in front of him. Shock. Blow. Shock. Blow. Shock. Blow. Shock. Burst. Issei and Flame's swords collide, but the latter ultimately caused an explosion, damaging Issei. You have received 10,000 damage. The chest armor has been destroyed. The enemy has suffered increased poisoning from destroying the armor. Issei, let's go, you bastard. Flame, this toy, why are you starting to irritate me? Shock. Issei, this just got exciting. Flame, this toy seriously thinks he can beat me. Issei, it's finally ready. Dragon Whip. Flame, it's not impossible for him to beat me. His damage will only be divided among my soldiers. Even if some die, it won't make much of a difference. There are many. It's impossible. Cursed fire cut. The basilisk gloves have been destroyed. Poisoning increases. Poison damage is doubled. Issei smiles. Yeah, let's continue. Flame, then why doesn't he beg for his life? Shock. Blow. Issei, let's go. Flame, why doesn't this toy kneel down begging for mercy? Hellish explosion. Quickly a wave of fire would be generated, trapping Issei. Issei, HAAA. You have received 100,000 damage. A legend doesn't die easily. You have entered the immortal state for 5 seconds. The basilisk boots have been destroyed. Vali, Issei are ready. Quickly Flame and Issei would focus their attention on Vali, to which Issei throws all the smoke bombs to the ground. He quickly stands next to Vali to then see how Flame is shielded by all the smoke. Issei drinks a health potion. Ready. Vali, you are. Quickly each one would take half of the bombs, and then start running towards Flame, who was not supposed to see anything. But Flame in his current state could be seen partially through the smoke, through yellow lines of fire on his body, thanks to that state he was in. To take. Flame, what is this? Incinerate. He felt like his body was touched by something. He quickly attacked, but he wasn't fast enough. To take. Issei, this amuses you. Flame, these toys with their useless plans, why don't they give up? Father, my creator told me, he told me who they are. To take. 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 Vali, acid rain. Flame, they're over their blasphemous fire. The attacks collided with force, exploding. Vali, bye. But this was just a distraction. Vali disappeared again. To take. To take. To take. To take. To take. To take. Flame, my creator, the 8th great demon, told us all this. The king of flames said it. They are just toys. The 8th great demon of hell, Emma, said that they are just toys. How dare they try to win? To take. To take. To take. To take. To take. To take. Issei hits him with his sword. Flame, stop hiding. He exploded in anger and began to shoot fire in all directions, in order to hit one of them and destroy it. Vali, unfortunately for you. To take. Issei, your time is up. The smoke that had been generated by the smoke bombs had disappeared, and when Flame could finally see the two of them more clearly, he raised his hand to point at them. Flame, your game of hide and seek is over. Issei, game? Why don't you look at your situation well? Flame, what? Shocked he this what is it? His body was surrounded by magic bombs, all of them stuck to every corner of his body, from his neck to his arms, legs, back and chest. The 45 magic bombs stuck to him. Issei, you called us toys, check carefully this time. Vali, I wonder if all this time you've been splitting up your damage amongst your soldiers, so much so that some of them have died out there. Do you think there are still enough soldiers left to help you take all the damage in full force? Flame, these toys, they set a trap for me, stop. Vali, Snap's fingers, go back to hell, you damn demon. Flame's entire body quickly lit up blue. Flame, this can't be, I'm going to die because of these toys. No, they're not toys, they are humans, they're humans, very strong humans, humans. Burst. The final sight would be a huge explosion, which started to trigger a bunch of windows. You have dealt 1,000 damage to the enemy. You have dealt 1,000 damage. To the enemy you have dealt 1,000 damage to the enemy. 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 You have dealt 10,000 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 damage to the enemy. You have dealt 50,000 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 damage to the enemy. You have dealt 100,000 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 damage to the enemy. Soon the status windows about the damage stopped, and new status windows emerged. You have killed all the fire soldiers. You have killed the fire demon Night Flame. Level up, level up. Level up, level up. Level up. Level up. Level up. Level up, level up. Level up, 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 level up. Congratulations, you have cleaned the fire cauldron. Because the cauldron has been full of monsters for so long, it was thought impossible to clean it. Today, you have cleaned it and spread your fame throughout the Fang kingdom. Reputation gained, 1 million. They have earned the title, Will of Fire. Will of Fire. Whoever carries this title grants 15% of resistance and physical strength. The fire won't burn you so easily. You gain 50% resistance to all demonic fires. Fire sword obtained. Fire jewel obtained. Lesser demon heart obtained. Sacred flame key obtained. Lesser demon skeleton and skin obtained. Issei / Vali, so it's over, they fall to the ground, we win. Chapter 8, Rewards. Issei and Vali were still in the cauldron of fire, lying on the ground. They were tired, both mentally and physically. Issei, I can't believe we did it. Vali, yes, I agree. Issei, Gets up. Well, let's see the rewards and get out of here. Vala stands up. I agree. They both prepared to see the rewards, when something immediately stopped them. Shriek. Vala/Issei, what was that? By the time they turned around, they were shocked. A large eye of fire was staring at them. The flaming eye of the 8th great demon Enma has appeared. The great demon Enma sees the creatures of the earthly world through his flaming eye. The 8th great demon of hell, Enma, shows interest in those who destroyed his toy. The 8th great demon Enma looks somewhat displeased. You have been cursed. You have resisted and nullified the curse. The 8th great demon is surprised that they were able to resist. Your interest increases. The demon of hell, Enma, demands that as compensation they become his servants. He's giving them both a chance. The demon Enma awaits your answer. You will agree to become a servant of the 8th great demon Enma. Accept/reject. Issei, bu, but what is this? Vala, looks like we caught the attention of a big demon, not something I'm happy about, to be honest. Issei, as I understand it, they are the beings that want to destroy humans. Vala, some of them want to end the mortal world, that's true, but don't forget that the members of the Yatan Church are mostly humans, and the demons consider them allies. Issei, likewise, I do not intend to accept that I am not anyone's servant. Vala, we agree. You have rejected the proposal of the great demon Enma. Enma is furious at the arrogance of humans. Enma curses you. You have resisted. Enma screams in rage at not being able to curse you. Enma says that if she were there in person they wouldn't be able to resist her curse. Enma says she will remember them and make them pay in the future. Quickly the eye of fire disappeared without a trace. Issei and Vala looked at each other knowing that in the future they would have problems. Issei, damn, that guy is going to be a pain in the ass. Vali, be thankful that he's not in the human world, otherwise we'd surely be dead. Great demons are one of the most powerful existences in the game, especially the top 10. It is said that they reign in hell with overwhelming power. Although so far they are only superstitions and no great demon has been summoned, it is believed that their power is superior to an army. Of course, the only way to measure the power of the great demons is through the apostles of Yatan, but so far those who have witnessed the power of an apostle say that the power granted is not even 10% of the original power of a great demon. Issei, that's true. Vala, okay, let's check the rewards. Issei, okay. Fire sword. Item, legendary. Class, can switch between two-handed sword or magic light sword. Durability, 100,000%. Damage, 15,000. Has the ability to imbue himself with fire by using mana. The damage of the fire-imbued sword is doubled. Can be imbued with pure mana as well. The damage of the mana-imbued sword depends on the amount of mana the mage has and his magical abilities. It can be used to recite spells, so a wizard can carry it as well. You have a 40% chance of generating explosions. You have a 10% chance of generating a unidirectional wave of fire when swung up and down. Causes the burning state to the rival, constantly lowering the enemy's health for a certain time. A sword that was created in the fire of the great demon Enma by a blacksmith. He gave it to one of his favorite creations for his exceptional performance at work. This sword was forged in hell by a great blacksmith, at the request of the 8th great demon Enma, in order to achieve something called a magic swordsman. However, when he realized the limits that this supposed, he left him disappointed, abandoned the experiment, and in the end this sword became one of his unused collections, until he gave it as a reward to one of his creations. Issei, this is crazy. I honestly can't believe a legendary weapon is in our hands. Vala, in the future you will be able to forge better swords than these. Issei, I know, but I'm still excited. It's the first time I've seen a legendary item. However, I feel somewhat disappointed. A great sword like this was left aside for simply failing an experiment. Vali, it makes sense to me. Issei, excuse me? Wouldn't a combination of sword and magic be strong? Vala, I read a post from a player in the past looks at the sword. He said that at the beginning everything was great, however he realized his mistake later. Issei, mistake? Vali, swordsmen like you, as they advance, unlock something called aura. However, he didn't have aura but mana. His intelligence had increased in line with his physical abilities. The consequences were seen later. When using mana to imbue his sword, it broke. This happened many times. The answer to this problem was to use a weapon of a better quality. And so it was. However, the damage of a sword imbued by mana is less than one imbued by aura. Issei, but he still had the spells right? Vali, of course, but he improved his physical abilities in parallel with his magical abilities. His intelligence was not enough, or he did not have enough mana to perform the spells. In the end, it was a mistake that cost him dearly. He realized too late that the combination of those two classes was impossible. Due to the lack of resources and statistics, which meant having both classes, in the end this story served so that everyone in the game understood that a combination of classes between swordsmen and magicians does not work. Issei looks at the sword. You say the sword is useless? Vali, no, I'm saying it's useful. Its use in mana base makes it difficult to use, but it could still be sold, but for use. Issei gives her the sword. Take it back. Vala, wait, what are you doing? Issei, I give you the sword. That is not obvious. Vali, that's not what I mean. Issei, I think you could use it. Vala, me? Issei, you were a swordsman with me. You have the basic knowledge of using swords, and first of all, the characteristics of this item are based on mana, which is good since you are a magician, which also allows you to use it. Vali, although what you say makes sense, it is a waste of time. At first it may seem favorable to keep this sword, but as we level up and stronger enemies appear, it may become useless. Issei, I don't think so. Vala, why are you so sure? Issei, you are my brother and you are very intelligent. Surely you will know how to avoid stagnating. Vala, shocked. Why you? Issei smiles. Vali, haha, because I can never deny your ideas. Smiles. Well, it would certainly be a shame to sell a great weapon. Holds it. Issei, you can change the shape of the sword between a heavy sword and a light sword. Vali, switches to light sword. This one is more suited to a mage's speed and I can use it more easily. Issei, you will surely be able to handle it very well. Vala, I hope so. Let's see the other rewards. Issei, next. Fire Jewel. A jewel that contains the power of fire. It can be refined and its energy captured in a potion. The effects of the potion can be unpredictable. Vali, an interesting material. Issei, can you do something with her? Vala, this gem is more inclined to the side of alchemy than magic, however I will try to find a way to make use of it. Issei, yes, I don't want to end up going to an alchemist, they are very expensive. Vala, we are the same. Issei, but be careful, it says there that the effects are unpredictable. If you already can't know what will happen when using a potion, let's not talk about what will happen if you use another method that is not a potion. It can be problematic. Vali, I certainly have to take that into account. Issei, well, the next one is Lesser Demon Heart. Item Epic. Class Consumable. It no longer contains demonic energy or the fire of the great demon, but this heart belonged to a being that killed many people, therefore darkness invades it. When consumed, absorbing its dark energy, there is a 50% chance of developing dark magic for any wizard. There is another 50% chance that you will die and the material will be lost. Issei, this is it. Vala, I'll have to find a safe way to consume it. Issei, wait, what? But it's black magic. Vali, for that very reason black magic is currently only available to Yatan servants or other special cases. As a magician it could open the doors to extremely useful spells. Issei, that's true, but Vali, don't worry, they won't identify me as a member of the Yatan Church, since their dark energy is pure, but I will attract some attention. Issei, well, I'm not against it if it will be useful to us, but you must increase the chances to 100%. Losing it would be a waste of material. Vala, true, I won't have another chance like this. Issei, let's see the next one. Key of the Sacred Flame. Item? Class Key. Usage? A golden key that bears a great name, but its origin has not yet been discovered. If you want to find out its function, you will have to discover where this key belongs. Valley, a key. Normally these types of keys are for treasures or dungeons. We cannot see the class of the item until we find its place of origin. It can be both good and bad, and the chances of finding such a place are remote. Issei, I'll save it for now. Now I'll see the latest. Lesser Demon Skeleton. Item Epic. Class Material. Some demons that are created by the great demons are usually made of fine materials, even the lower level ones. Demon skeletons can be used to create powerful weapons. Although if the demon had a strong will, this can influence the weapon. Lesser Demon Skin. Item Epic. Class Material. The skin of demons is tough, even that of lesser demons. Demons have no use for their own bodies, however for blacksmiths and craftsmen it is a different story. They recognize a good material when they see it, so these skins are used by them for very resistant armor and suits. However, some skins may retain the grudge of the dead demon, in which case there is a high probability of applying a curse to the wearer. Vala, this is all yours. Your equipment broke and you will need to make a new one. Issei, thank you. Vala, now let's get out of this place. The two would calmly leave, but as they left and the doors opened, many blacksmiths and artifact makers were in front of the door. Issei, this what's going on here? Soldier, gentlemen, first of all I want to congratulate you and thank you for cleaning the fire boiler. As for these people, they came to see those who had cleaned the boiler to thank them in person. Valley, I understand, it seems that we are in the center of attention of the kingdom. At that moment, the blacksmiths and artifact makers stepped aside in front of two men heading towards Issei and Vala. One of them was muscular, white, had X-shaped scars on his arms, while the other was thin, wearing a gray tunic, but very tall, had bandages all over his body, even his face. Upon arriving and being face to face with Issei and Vala, they introduced themselves. Ken, nice to meet you young people. My name is Ken. I am the leader of the blacksmiths of this kingdom. I wanted to thank you in person for cleaning the fire cauldron. Samir, it is a pleasure. My name is Samir, leader of the artifact creators of this kingdom, and like Khan, I also come to thank you in person. Issei, it was nothing. Valley, yes, it was actually worth it. Issei, if now that the boiler is clean, the pipe system that generates fire will return, which will be helpful for us. Ken, wait, they are blacksmiths. Issei, I do. Vala is an artifact creator. Samir, this is interesting. They would like to hear a proposal. Issei, a proposal? Samir, yes, they seem to be newbies in the field of manufacturing, so as a thank you, how about we both personally teach you about the trade? Attention. Mission, teachings of the old generation activated. Ken and Samir are ready to teach you the truth behind the production field. Reward, affinity with the blacksmiths and artifact makers of the Fang kingdom will increase. Refusing or failing the quest, affinity with blacksmiths and artifact makers will drop a lot. Accept/reject. Chapter 9, Memories of the Past. After the events that happened previously, we ended up accepting the quest. It's not like we were willing to lower our affinity with the NPCs. Valley especially seemed very interested. However, we had to rest, so we left the game for a while. We are currently in the real world relaxing on the couch. Issei, haha, after cleaning that damn boiler I'm exhausted. I'd like to sleep for 2 whole days. Vala, I'll make instant ramen. Issei, okay. Vala would slowly go to the kitchen to prepare the ramen, while Issei watched the news calmly. News, currently it has been a while since the news of 2 legendary classes in the game was released. The best guilds in the world have been looking for these people, but there still doesn't seem to be any success. In a big world like World Arc, nobody knows where they could be. In addition, this has generated several unfriendly encounters between several guilds. Let's go with our reporter Johanna. Issei, we are the center of attention, but having the bigwigs looking for information about us disgusts me. Johanna, currently the notice of 2 legendary classes seems to be forgotten over time. Most believe that these classes were taken by a guild, but there is still nothing official. Obviously, without evidence nothing concrete can be said. However, we brought as a guest a particular person, the leader of the Nemesis Guild. From the United States, Aiden Davis Williams. Immediately, as soon as Issei heard that name, his gaze filled with hatred. He squeezed the TV remote so hard that he was breaking it. Issei looks at him with hatred. Aiden. Vala, stop, let go of the remote, you're going to break it if you keep holding it like that. Issei drops the remote control. Vala, you know it would be a hassle to have to buy another one. Issei, I know, forgive me. Vala, here. Vala held 2 ramen with their respective cutlery. He would give an instant ramen to Issei, while he sat next to him watching television. Issei, I suddenly lost my appetite. Vala, eat, you need to feed yourself. Issei, with that guy on TV it's impossible for me to eat. Vala, don't worry bro, one day we will bring that bastard down. Vala stared at that guy with an icy gaze. He didn't have a shred of compassion in his eyes. Aiden, thanks for inviting me. Johanna. Johanna, tell me Aiden, what do you think about this situation? Do you think that those 2 people are already the property of a guild? Aiden, that's most likely. They will surely try to hide it, since having 2 guys like them could bring many clashes against enemy, and even friendly guilds. Johanna, in the Information Guild, they recently said that legendary classes may not belong to any guild yet. Aiden, and you believe them? Johanna, the Shadow Information Guild is the best information network in the entire world and World Arc. Why not believe them? Aiden, while I must not underestimate the Shadow Guild's strong capabilities, they are a guild purely dedicated to buying and selling information throughout World Arc. While I and my guild have turned to them, the information can always be falsified. Johanna, I'm surprised you're so calm talking about the Shadow Guild like that. Aiden, why be afraid of them? They may be the best information guild, but our Nemesis Guild is 5th ranked in best combat. If we were to go to a fight, we would win. Johanna, what great statements. Aiden, the power in this world is what draws the line between jewels and trash. Issei continued watching the news in disgust. Issei, damn bastard hasn't changed over time. Johanna, but if the Shadow Guild is really right. Aiden, so let's do a test. Johanna, a test? What kind of test? Aiden, if a guild has 2 legendary classes, their power will increase, so they will begin to expand into the territory of other guilds, in addition to gathering several achievements in a short time. In other words, it will be noticeable that they have those 2 subjects in their power. However, if the Shadow Information Guild is right, naturally things between the guilds will remain the same. There will be nothing on a large scale. Johanna, a very intelligent test. I suppose we will find out with the passage of time. Aiden, plus I'll give you a scoop. Johanna, a scoop? Aiden, to everyone who is currently watching me, please know that I have acquired a kind of growth called Blood Servant. Johanna, a growth class? That's incredible, you may be the first to date to confirm having one. Aiden, that's right, and a growth class. It will be a legendary class in the future. What does it matter that there are 2 legendary classes currently? In the future there may be many more, so even if some guild has 2 legendary classes, I'll make this clear, don't think it's worth making enemies of the Nemesis Guild, you will end up falling. Johanna, in all this, is the Nemesis Guild doing anything worth mentioning? Aiden, we prepare for some difficult raids, including the lair where the soul of the 7th great demon is sealed. Johanna, we've heard about it. The Flower Guild failed days ago, however no one has been successful. Aiden, we will prove that we are the best. Smiles. Johanna, well, that's all for today. If you want to see more tunes. The words were cut off by Issei, who had turned off the television, had finished eating and had a bad face. He was still angry. Vala, who was next to him, was still the same. Issei, I want to break that damn pretty boy face. Vala, calm down, one day we will get revenge, but now we can only endure and watch. Issei, I know we are weak, we have no money and influence, even with our current power we cannot fight their guild alone. Valley, but someday if and when that day comes, the debts of the past will be settled. Issei, I really want that day to come. Our history with Aiden goes back a long way. Flashback. In the city of Kwa, In the upper part of the city, there was an orphanage. Inside it there were many children abandoned by parents or mothers, but also children who had been orphaned and without a family. August Valley Issei stopped there. Mariana, Father Augusto is yelling at those two again. I'm new here, but the same thing has been happening for about 5 days now. Lise, they are the most problematic and imperative of all children. Mariana, ha ha ha, it's normal for children to have that energy, it doesn't hurt anyone, it's not bad for young people to be like that. Lise, yes, but these two have a problematic personality. Mariana, in what way? Augusto, I got them. Issei, I'm sorry, let me go now. Valley, they started it, not me. Augusto, what am I going to do with you two? Issei, you went to spy on the girls' bathroom again. Issei, how do you know it was me? Augusto, why are there cameras in this institution? Idiot pulls his ear. Issei, also I'm sorry. Augusto, you'll feel it more when I make you write 1,000 lines if I must not do it again and you. Vale, I already told you that they started it. Augusto, I understand that you want to protect your brother, but hitting each other with the other kids is not the solution. Vale, they were bothering. Augusto, that's no reason to use blows instead of words, that's why I'll make you write 1,000 lines about not hitting others just because they bother me. Following this you can see the two of them writing the 1,000 lines that were given to them as punishment by the august father. Issei, this is tedious. Vale, you? Issei, why did you fight? Vale, why did you spy in the girls' bathroom? Issei, hey, that's a lie, I didn't spy in the girls' bathroom. Vale, oh no? Issei, of course not, I spied in the adult women's bathroom, which is something else. Vale, sighs, I expected that, you know. Issei, and why did you fight this time? Vale, they insulted Mom. Issei, oh then it's okay, they deserve it. Vale, you? Issei, let's finish quickly and go play, okay, smiles. Vale, sure, smiles. After a while, these two would finish writing and walk through the halls of the orphanage. Donovan, I don't understand, Father Augustus, why are you so benevolent? On their way, Issei and Vale would stay behind a wall listening to the conversation. Vale, don't make noise or talk too loud. Issei, okay. Augusto, Father Donovan, they are just children, there is no reason to be so strict. Donovan, if we're not, how will these kids learn from their mistakes? Augusto, please control your tone of voice, Donovan, people might wake up. Donovan, excuse me, Father, but just tell me why you are so gentle with them, I really want to know. Augusto, those two children are just looking for a way to calm their hearts. Donovan, calls his way of causing trouble calming his heart. Augusto, from my point of view, they are just two children who lost their parents in a terrible car accident. These children are in a delicate stage where they cannot express their pain openly with us who are strangers. For them, the pain of losing your only family is something we cannot describe, nor say that we can understand it if we have not lived it. Don't you think? Donovan, I understand that, but their fights. Augusto, Valley is a good boy who is too intelligent, but his feelings make him impulsive. Those fights had their reason, they happened because he tried to protect his brother or defend the name of his mother, may she rest in peace. Since he arrived, the other children bother him just because he is different. With that I mean that he is smarter than an average boy, he will surely have a promising future, he is a good brother and son, surely his mother would be proud, and although I do not approve of violence, I think that what he did was an act of pure justice. Donovan, I understand, then what can you tell me about Issei's perverted behavior? That is something very immoral. Augusto, ha ha ha, children tend to be curious about these things from a very young age. Developing sexual thoughts early on is not bad, in fact repressing your desires is not good either. Speaking from the science side, it is said that it is harmful to repress your desires. As he grows up he may be worse and a pervert, but still. The boy helps all the girls, women and maids every day. Donovan, what are you trying to say, Father Augustus? Augusto, one thing is to be a pervert, and another thing is how you are as a person. Issei is a good person by nature, he does not degrade a woman, He speaks to them with respect and affection. Possibly when he grows up his character will become perverted, but he would be what we would call a good pervert, so he is someone you can always count on. Few times in the world you will find people who do not turn their backs on you. Donovan, I understand. I will try to be as considerate as possible with them. I hope they can vent all that pain they have inside. Augusto, they are great kids. They will have a promising future, and I have faith in them. Smiles. As he said that, tears fell from Issei and Vala's eyes. They didn't make a sound. On the contrary, they held back the sound and left their crying. After that day his behavior began to improve in the orphanage. Everything seemed to be going well. The years passed. Everything seemed to improve. But one day at the age of 16, Vala and Issei, on the day of his birthday. Augusto, please reconsider. Aiden, this institute was made by my father, and he has approved that it be destroyed, to make my new hotel. Augusto, Niels, please don't do it. What will become of the children? Aiden, that's not my problem. Put them to work, or you can get rid of them. Issei/Vali, August father. Aiden, who are these two boys? Vala, what are you doing to Father Augustus? At that moment a guard grabbed Vala by the neck. Aiden, they say they raise children here, but I see wild dogs. Issei, free it. Another guard approached to grab Issei by the neck. Aiden, Father Augustus, shouldn't you teach these children some manners? Issei, who are you calling kids? You are one too. Aiden, maturity comes with mental age and money, silly boy. I have a lot of money. Augusto, please don't hurt them, young Aiden. I'll do whatever it takes. Aiden, guards, let them both go. There's no need to start fighting with children. Guards, release them. Aiden, August father, you are too old to bear the burden of street children like these. This orphanage is going to be demolished. The children have no future, so they will rot in the streets or get a low-paying job and you are fired. Augusto, please no, just the children. My heart falls to the ground. Vala/Issei, August father. Aiden, what I said is very old. Augusto, Issei, Vala, don't worry, you guys be good kids. Issei, father, please answer, please. Vala, you can't die, you can't die. Aiden, well, that's all I've said. Issei, you, what gives you the right to do this, to trample on others? Just tell me what gives you the right. Aiden, that gives me the right, because I'm like a god. Vala, you are not God. Aiden, no? I have money. In this world I can get everything with money. Dad told me, women, luxuries, everything can be mine with enough money. In this life, who is born with money already in bed is the king of the world. Money equals power. You know what every god has, power, my father told me. The true gods of this world are those who control the money. Issei, you think that only gives you the right to trample on people. Aiden, power is the rule of this world. Takes out a bill and throws it. Take that to the father's funeral. Issei, you are. Vali, Issei, it's not the time. Issei, but. Aiden, you're angry, right? Understandable. I was born with a golden spoon, in addition to intelligence, which guarantees me success for life, and you are in the rot. To tell the truth, I don't think you'll go far, at most a poorly paid job. Vali, we will never forget this. Aiden, oh, the classic and useless desires for revenge of the poor class, they never get far. Well, I will give you the honor of knowing my name, Aiden Davis Williams. Remember it. It is the closest thing you will get to what you will have with the upper class. Issei, bastard. Aiden, you know, I have a question, something I really want to know, because I've been really curious. What does it feel like to not have a mom or dad? Vala/Issei, damn you. The two of them rushed forward and couldn't contain themselves, but the guards caught them and beat them, leaving them on the ground. He walked away laughing. That same day Father Augustus died of a heart attack. We with Father Donovan buried him. Weeks later Father Donovan was fired, the staff little by little too. Later that year the orphanage was demolished. Many boys and girls were left homeless. Each one went their own way, while Vala and I would look for a way to get ahead, so that one day we could kick Aiden's bucking mouth. End of flashback. Issei/Vala, one day we will make you pay. Chapter 10. Effort is the real talent. After what they had seen on television, both of them were in a bad mood, but after a few hours they managed to calm down, so they went to sleep. Tomorrow was another day and they had to focus on working and improving within the game, so they forgot about Aiden for the moment. The next morning, they both got up. They had gone to work a few hours in a restaurant, serving the cash register, and Issei carrying the food as a waiter. After finishing work, they both went back home to eat and get into the capsules. It was time to continue where they had left off. Issei, well, I'll go with Ken. Be careful with that guy Samir, he's a little scary, you know. Vala, come on, we know that in this world there are always NPCs with unusual personalities. Issei, when you see someone who has their body bandaged, you can't expect something normal. Vala, whatever you say, see you. They both separated to walk to the place where their respective teachers were. Issei view. I had arrived at the place. To tell the truth, it was run down, even more so than our workplace. I couldn't believe that the chief blacksmith of the entire Fang kingdom lived here. Blow. Hammering. Clang. Immediately the sound of metal being hammered on the anvil was heard. Calmly Issei approached the place where that noise came from. When he did, he could see Ken working. He decided not to interrupt him and sit down to watch until he finished. When he finished, Ken showed a beautiful iron sword, which he left on the table. Ken, I noticed your presence. Issei, really? Ken, first rule of the blacksmith, always know what is coming in and is in your forge. Issei, you were so immersed in blacksmithing, I decided not to bother you. Ken, that is the second rule of a blacksmith, never lose concentration on anything. Even if you get stabbed, you must continue with the work. Blacksmithing becomes something more important than your own life. Issei, okay. Ken, but you did well to wait. You have the nature of a blacksmith as I expected. Issei, you know that just waiting? Ken, a rule for all blacksmiths is not to interrupt us in the middle of our work, no matter if it is a commoner, noble, or king. Issei, I see. Ken, first I'm going to test you, or rather I'll do a test, to see your ability. Make about 3 arrows, the materials are on the table. Issei, understood. Issei quickly got to work, to make the arrows without any problem. After 5 minutes I finished. Issei, here they are. The 3 arrows were of epic quality. The materials they were made of were by far of good quality. Ken, fail. Issei, what? But why? I'm sure they are good quality arrows. Ken, they are. If I tell you the truth, it would have taken me a day to make arrows like those. Issei, then? Ken, but that is precisely the problem. You abandoned the hammer just because you had made something you were happy with. If it takes me a day to make quality arrows, how long would it take you to make something better? Issei, aye. Ken, if you see blacksmithing that way, then you don't deserve to be a blacksmith. A blacksmith is not someone who works quickly, but someone who gives his best in each creation. If you don't give your best in everything you do, even in what seems the most insignificant to you, how will you improve? Issei, shocked. He quickly understood his words, realizing that he had been given the blacksmithing skill of a legend, but he wasted it by going too quickly. If he is good at something, he must do each thing as well as possible, to constantly improve, to be better today than yesterday, and to be better tomorrow than today. Ken, a blacksmith should never give the least of himself. Issei, I'm sorry, Ken. I think I've insulted you and the entire blacksmith shop. I just thought that by having the gift of almost always doing good things with the materials, I would never need to learn from someone or something. To tell the truth, my brother Val is the one who was interested in learning. I was skeptical. Ken smiles. At least you know how to apologize well. Okay, don't worry, my eyes saw that you had talent, so I will teach you, understood? Issei, yes. After that they would get down to work with different jobs. Ken, important rules for blacksmiths. As I told you, concentration is important, not interrupting the work is vital. But there will be times when that will be impossible to avoid. For example, a news item or someone must tell you about an important event. You must maintain your concentration while listening, just like now. Issei, it's difficult hammering. Ken, nobody masters this on the first try. That's why we're practicing with arrows while you do this. The metal for them is minimal compared to other tools. Issei, hammering. Ken, another important rule. Whether weapons or not, any forge, even the plow for farmers, must be important, understood? Issei, hammering yes. Ken, repeat after me, calm mind. Issei, hammering peaceful mind. Ken, give it your all. Issei, hammering giving it my all. Ken, failure is not allowed. Issei, hammering failing is not allowed. Kan, okay, hit the metal hard. Issei, yes, hammering. Ken, come on, keep going, you are the reflection of your creations. Hammering. Clang. 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 Issei would continue like this until the sun set. When the moon fell, then he could stop. Ken, it's excellent work. Issei, unbelievable, the arrow was made of garbage materials and its quality was epic. I can't believe it. How is this possible, considering the materials before and after? Ken, that is another rule of the blacksmith. The materials certainly define the height of the blacksmith's work, but only a true blacksmith turns the earth into gold. Issei, interesting saying. Ken, you must have already realized that anyway. Issei, yes, the arrows from before are the same as this one, but in the ones from before I used the best materials, while in this one the worst, and it is the same as the arrows from before. If I had done the same with the arrows from before, they would surely have been of higher quality. Ken, now you have learned something important for blacksmiths, patience. Issei, thank you, Ken. Ken, you're welcome. I agreed to teach you, so there's still a long way to go. Issei, may I ask why you live here? Ken, ha 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 ha, many of the new blacksmiths also ask that. You wonder why the boss of all the blacksmiths lives here. Issei, yes, I was expecting a bigger smithy. Ken, everyone says it. The reason is simple. My family once lived here, may they rest in peace, so I will live here until the day I die. Issei, oh, I'm sorry. Ken, from your words I see that you know how it feels, but don't worry, with time I got ahead. It was hard to stop drinking to drown my sorrows, but I did it. We all always get ahead in one way or another. Issei, I understand, but don't you think you should fix this place? Ken, curiously, that is your lesson for tomorrow. Not only must a blacksmith know how to forge but also how to repair. Issei, that wouldn't work with objects either. Ken, sure, but I think that would being more fragile than metal will give you good control. Issei, I think he'll use me as a bricklayer. Ken, okay, let's get back to work. Issei, but it's night. Ken, better yet, blacksmiths must be able to see the color of the metal to work with. Many blacksmiths work in places with low lighting. That is why the doors of the forges during the day are kept closed and the windows covered in the middle of work. Issei, heavens. Ken, come on, I have to finish teaching you everything about blacksmithing techniques such as forging, welding, tempering, etc. Issei, I wonder how Vali did. View of Vali. I had separated from Issei to go to Master Samir. When I arrived, the place was a very tall tower, but it had several holes. Samir, I see you've arrived. Vali, please have a seat. Vali, understood, Master. Samir, oh, it seems you understand basic manners. Vali, I'm curious about one thing first. Vali, sits down. Yeah, what do you want to know? Samir, to tell you the truth, I'm curious as to why you accepted our offer so calmly. Clearly your brother was more reluctant to be taught. I noticed it from his facial expressions. Vali, certainly, but I think he will better understand why and become obedient, listening carefully to Ken in order to improve. Samir, so why accept? Vali, inexperience. Samir, inexperience? Vali, currently I can do great jobs as an artifact creator. Let's say that I was already gifted with great skill, but I don't know everything about the job, the roots of what makes the job what it is. I want to exploit all its potential to make better quality works, since that translates into offensive power for me. Samir, excellent. My eyes have not deceived me when they saw a prodigy. I thought I would have to give you lessons about real work, but it is not necessary. You are smart, to tell the truth, very smart. Vali, I hope to learn from you. Samir, then I'll teach you. Quickly he would be working on an artifact, a necklace. Vali had a small knife that was glowing blue. He was carving or engraving something on the necklace with that knife. Samir, first of all, you should already know that concentration is vital. Even while I am talking to you, you must be focused on the work. Vali, you are. Samir, so this is your first time carving mana circuits. How do you feel? Vali, I just can't explain it, but I feel like it's something unknown and dangerous. Samir, correct, we artifact creators have a higher rate of accidents, even more than a warrior in the middle of a war. The reason is simple: we work with relics of magic or mana. That translates into danger and explosions. My bandages are not for decoration, they are because more than once I almost burned myself alive. To tell the truth, you were blessed with incredible abilities. Most of the new ones cause explosions. Val, carving, what happens if I fail? Samir, well, that object you're carving is called a mana necklace. It serves as a mana reserve. It accumulates mana from the air so that when it's full, the wizard recharges or recovers his mana. It's used in dangerous circumstances to save a wizard's life. If you fail, it will explode in your face. You'll need bandages on your face for a week. I can't afford recovery magic, or rather, I don't want to. Ha! Select terms. Samir, well, it seems that you have talent as a creator of artifacts. In fact, it is already night. Vali, what I did feels so unnatural. Samir, that's how it is to draw a mana circuit. Wizards must feel the flow of mana to carve the circuit. Feeling that flow is like a mouse in a maze. You look for the exit. That's why when it comes to reconstructing artifacts and creating them, drawing the circuit becomes a fundamental piece. There is no specific plan. You just have to let yourself be guided by the flow of mana. If you lose concentration or lose your way through the maze, to put it in the best way, it will explode. Feeling the flow is very different from feeling the mana like wizards. You must feel all of it, the direction in which it moves, the waves of movement, etc. Vali, however, the feeling I felt is as if… Samir, you will deceive the world. In theory, yes, you deceive the laws of the world. Mana is the source of magic which can be used to cross, deceive, negotiate, etc. with the laws of the world. Vali, but all this that you are teaching me is not about creating artifacts, but about modifying them. Samir smiles. You realized it quickly, so I asked you, what artifacts have you created? Vali, just bombs. Samir, unusual, but not difficult to make, because you have to fill them with mana. They don't require you to use the mana furnace. Well, I'll teach you the true creation of artifacts. Immediately everything in the room closed in. The pure mana in the air became visible and gathered around Samir, then gathered in front of him in the form of a sphere. Vali, this is it. Samir, blacksmiths use their furnaces to create weapons. We create an artifact using our own furnaces. By gathering the mana around us, a failure can result in a huge explosion. Our lives are at risk. That is the reason why artifact creators are in high demand in the kingdoms, and there are few. The work is risky. Every day is vital for us. Vali, the mana sphere is so dense that it could dissolve anything. Samir, you realize it quickly. When you throw the materials at it, they all dissolve. Depending on what you want to create, you give it shape and definition with your mind controlling your mana, be it a staff or a ring, even necklaces, whatever you want. Sometimes you won't be able to create what you want because of the nature of the material. So you'll have to go with the flow like circuits to shape the object. Vali, is there a limit to the materials I can add? Samir, there is no limit, but it is more difficult to create because of the amount of materials that need to be controlled. When you start creating, you must know how to group, unite, transform, modify materials, etc. for artifacts. Adding more makes the creation of the artifact more difficult and failure more likely. Only experts among experts can add many materials. Vali, the creators of artifacts, they are the blacksmiths of the magicians. Samir, exactly. Now you will practice creating with something simple. Let's start with a beginner's cane. Vali, I wonder how Issei is doing. Okay. Chapter 11, It's time to forge. The days passed quietly for both of them. They learned a lot about their respective jobs. But when the 30th day came, both were called by their respective masters to Khan's smithy. Issei, why do you think they call us? Vali, even I can't understand it. Issei, I hope Khan's smithy hasn't been destroyed. It cost me a lot to fix it. Vali, you complain about that. I had to fix the tower with the excuse that it was to improve control over the objects. and I will tell you that a ladder is not very safe, let's say. Issei, do you think falling from the roof of the blacksmith shop is okay? The two argued until they reached the smithy, where they would find Khan and Samir sitting at a table. Ken, you two please take a seat. Issei/Vali, sit down. What's going on with this environment? Samir, first of all I want to say that they are the first and the best disciples we have had. Ken, the fact that we call them here is that we officially recognize them as masters in the field of production. Smiles. Congratulations. Mission, teachings of the old generation completed. You are recognized as the only and best disciple of the master blacksmith Khan of the Fang kingdom, as well as a blacksmith who surpasses him by far. Affinity with blacksmiths and artifact crafters increased by 80%. Congratulations. Mission, teachings of the old generation completed. You are recognized as the sole and greatest disciple of the master artifact creator Samir, as well as an artifact creator who far surpasses him. Affinity with blacksmiths and artifact crafters increased by 80%. The windows notified both Issei and Vali that their mission was accomplished. Issei, great. Vali, thanks for everything. Samir, you demonstrated great understanding, as well as quick learning, so I can say that I am more than satisfied with your work. It was an honor for us to be your teachers. Ken, however, we have to ask you something. Both Khan and Samir had their arms crossed and had serious faces. Issei, what's going on with this environment? Vali, there might be something wrong. Ken, do you know Drake and Albion? Issei/Vali, shocked. Vali, how? Samir, I assumed so. Issei, how did you realize? Samir, blacksmiths and artifact creators are brothers of the forge. We have told our own stories through generation to generation. The best known stories are the legends of Albion and Drake, and it is impossible for two people on the field of combat to also be warriors. Ken, we had our suspicions since the day of the fire cauldron, since one of you had a sword just like Drake the blacksmith who was also a swordsman. Samir, another had great mana inside him, just like the legend of Albion the creator of artifacts who was also a magician. Ken, don't worry, we haven't told anyone, but we want to know what relationship you have with them too. Vali/Issei, look at each other. Samir, I know this can be a sensitive topic. If you don't want to talk about it, we won't force you. Issei, no, you have taught us and treated us with kindness. You deserve to know. I don't think there will be a problem with that, right, Vali? Vali, yes, I don't think there will be any problems if two people know. Issei, we are his successors. I am Drake's successor and Vali is Albion's successor. Khan's eyes would fill with tears, while Samir was shocked but happy. Ken, all these years of my life, my son one day dreamed of meeting Drake. Ever since he died I have always wanted to fulfill his dream. Today I can finally say that I did it. I met his successor. I even had the honor of being his teacher. Issei, hey, it's not that bad, you don't need to cry. Samir, you don't understand, for us those names are the pinnacle of perfection in the field of production, beings who overcome human limitations and went beyond. Vali, we are their successors, but we know nothing about them. Samir, how is this possible? Vali, it's just that one day we simply became their successors by accident, but we don't know anything about their history in general. Ken, then I think we should tell them who they were. Samir, yes, I agree. Ken, listen to me carefully. Albion and Drake were legends, but it is not just a word to describe someone who will be remembered in history. It is a word to remember someone who was extremely strong. Legends were the pinnacle of power in this world. Samir, the two of them appeared one day on this continent as if nothing had happened. Drake, for his part, is said to have been an energetic young man eager to fight. He loved fencing and weapons, but his greatest love was blacksmithing. Ken, on the other hand, Albion loved magic, but more the creation of artifacts. He saw their creation and manufacture as a work of art. Both were friends, but also rivals. Issei and Vali listened attentively to the story, as they considered this important for their respective classes. Samir, they went further than anyone else, always fighting against their main enemies. Issei, they had enemies. Samir, that's right, The main evil of this world, the great demons, those two were dedicated to killing them. Vala, shocked like the great demon Enma. Ken, shocked you know that demon? Issei, yeah, that bastard had one of his own soldiers in the cauldron. Samir, I already knew that the Aten Church, on the day of its attack, did its thing. Ken, the great demons are synonymous with strength, evil and brutality. The fact that they came into contact with one and did not die, especially with Enma, is synonymous with luck. Issei, can you meet Enma? Ken, it is the taboo of blacksmiths. It is said that a blacksmith who was frustrated for not being able to improve more, was looking for a way to overcome his limitations. One day he met Enma, who told him that if he forged his weapons in his fires, they would be the best, and that he would give him immortality by transforming him into a demon, thus escaping from human limitations, but in exchange he asked for the lives of his relatives to detach himself from his humanity. Issei, clench his fists, don't tell me that. Ken, yes, he did, he killed them. For me that is not love for blacksmithing, it is an offense. Since then the demon Enma is taboo for blacksmiths, more than for the church. Valley, because the blacksmith changed his mind, just by forging his weapons in the fires of Enma. Samir, as for blacksmiths like Ken and Issei, the fire in the forge is a fundamental part of blacksmithing, but Enma is the king of flames, who has thousands of fires at her disposal. Forging in her fires gives the possibility of creating incredible weapons, according to legends. Ken, yes, but no blacksmith dares to do it today. We value our own work regardless of the result. We would not give our souls or families just to go further. Issei, then about the great demons, Drake and Albion killed them. Samir, yes, they hunted them just like the best swordsmen on the continent, but according to legend one day they disappeared without further ado. Ken, the bad thing about stories about legends is that most of them are always incomplete. Samir, but his works remain today. The Empire currently has one of the swords created by him in its possession, as well as one of the artifacts of Albion. Every so often they invite the heroes to see if we can create an equal work, but the result is the same. We leave with defeat. The gap is like heaven and earth. We simply cannot achieve a work equal to that majesty. Issei, I would love to see that sword, but I have no plans to go to the Empire. Vala, there are two of us. I don't want to go there without preparing myself right now. That Count Roman must be looking for us right now. Samir, one more thing. It is said that Albion had a great affinity with the artifact creators and Drake with the heroes, so much so that wherever they went, on this continent the blacksmiths and artifact creators treated them so well just by seeing them. Attention! You have discovered a hidden piece of your class. The blacksmiths on this continent will treat you better than the rest. Being a descendant of Drake. Attention! You have discovered a hidden piece of your class. Artifact creators will treat you better than everyone else. Being a descendant of Albion. Issei lottery. Valley, interesting, so we can form good relationships thanks to the class. Samir, after hearing this story, what do you plan to do? Issei, so far we have learned great production skills, but I think that becoming versed in combat would be best for now. That's why I want to look for a place where I can get stronger. Vala, my thoughts are the same. Ken, then Issei, why don't you go to the City of Flames? It is a place where warriors gather. In addition to being made up of fierce warriors, they also have strong monsters. It is said that because of them their warriors are the best. Issei, City of Flames, what kingdom is it from? Ken, it doesn't belong to any kingdom. To tell the truth, things are complicated in that territory. You'll know when you get there. But yes, it's as big as one. It's an area dedicated to fights and killing monsters. The City of Flames is located between the Sun Kingdom and the Light Kingdom. It's definitely a place that will be useful if you want to improve the part of being a warrior. Samir, in your case Vala, I think you should go to the snowy mountains of the Moon Kingdom. Most wizards go there to learn magic that is unusual in that place. Valley, it means we will go our separate ways. Issei, smiles, I'll see you when I'm done. I bet I'll be stronger than you. Vala, smiles, you won't be able to surpass me in your dreams. Issei, well, I guess we should prepare first. Vala, I agree. Issei entered the smithy, while Vala went to the tower to create artifacts. Samir, this era is for the young. Can, yes, but we must guide them. I see. As time went by observing the materials, he came to a conclusion. The skeleton of the demon along with the skin, there was enough material to be able to make armor, as well as a cape. Issei, well, let's start. He quickly turned on the furnace and got to work, throwing his sword into the furnace, as he planned to melt it down, to make a new one with the leftover remains of the demon's skeleton. With values. He was not planning anything specific for him. On the contrary, he was thinking of something for his brother as a thank you. He had been thinking about it for hours. Such was the silence that Master Samir entered calmly. Vali, Master Samir. Samir, I see you're still thinking about what to do. Vali, I actually wanted to make something for my brother. I'm not short of equipment these days and I wanted to know if I could do something useful with this. Fire jewel. A jewel that contains the power of fire. It can be refined and its energy captured in a potion. The effects of the potion can be unpredictable. Samir, shocked, where did you get that from? Vala, do you know about this? Samir, how could I not know? This is one of the highest materials in the world of alchemy. It is priceless. Vala, what? Samir, that's right, you will see a fire jewel. It is used for fire potions. They are extremely expensive in the Empire. One of them is worth millions. Vala, just one potion is worth that much? Samir, the fire potion is unpredictable. It can be both good and bad. In bad cases it can destroy your body, ending your career warrior. But in good cases it strengthens your body and has a chance that you can develop fire aura, one of the strongest auras for warriors. Vala, I've heard of aura, but isn't it something that warriors develop naturally? Samir, yes, but warriors can acquire more than one aura from external phenomena, which greatly expands their combat arsenal. Vala, so you know how to make it into a potion? Samir, no, that is already from the branch of alchemy. They turn the fire jewel into a potion, to be consumed by the warriors through their methods. Vala, there's only the potion method? Samir, what else would exist? Vala, can you tell me the principles for acquiring the fire aura? Samir, of course, when taking the potion the warrior must absorb the energy of the fire jewel. As it is very aggressive, it is transferred quickly. That is the reason why the probability of acquiring the fire aura is 10%. At most it can strengthen you or destroy you. Vali, he says I just have to make my brother absorb the fire energy. Samir, if it is correct. Vala, for example, what if I make an artifact like the necklace that absorbs the mana of nature and then transfers it to the mage? But the mage only slowly transfers the energy of the fire jewel to the wearer of the necklace. Samir, shocked, I hadn't thought about it. By using an artifact as a container for the energy of that jewel, it could work, and since it transfers slowly and calmly, it wouldn't be so aggressive and the body could absorb the energy in a more friendly way, increasing its efficiency. This is simply brilliant. You are definitely Albion's successor. Vali, then it is possible. Samir, of course it is. I really need to participate in this project. Let me help you. Vala, okay. Chapter 12. The game will continue. Currently a meeting was taking place in the Issei group. Jack, this is really unexpected. I didn't think they would succeed in the fire cauldron. On top of that they have made enemies with the great demon Enma. Sarah, it seems that things have taken a different turn than expected. Jack, they have discovered a hidden piece of the descendants of Drake and Albion. Sarah, not only that, Issei has made a total of 6 legendary items and worth a total of 4. Gref, this was not planned. I thought the probability of creating them with common tools was 5%. Jack, it was thanks to the influence of those 2 NPCs, Ken and Samir. They worked tirelessly for days on a single object. Gemma, as I see it, by having done that, the probability increased due to that action. They put so much effort into it, that they pushed their mental capacities to the limit. Gref, the affinity with blacksmiths and artifact makers is so great that Samir literally gifted materials to Vala. Gemma, you can't blame him. His curious personality combined with his high affinity makes Vala receive special treatment. Gref, I understand. By the way, shouldn't your class mission have arrived already? Sarah, according to the records, it is when they create the 12th legendary object. Issei is missing 6 others while Vala is missing 8. Gemma, I have to say that on this occasion they were very lucky. Jack, I don't see any luck in this, it was pure effort, they worked so delicately on their equipment all these days. Sarah, so how do you think this will proceed? Jack, without Drake's sword skills or Albion's magic skills, one would think that they wouldn't get far. The normal thing would be for them to continue producing legendary items until they reach number 12, but both have shown enough skills to disprove that. Sarah, do you think they will succeed in combat? Jack, they may be the weakest combat class out of all the legendary classes, but a legendary class is still a legendary class. Sarah, I understand your point. Jack, well, we just have to keep watching, that's our role and it will always be. Gref, by the way, how is Hyodo Kiba? Jack, he is currently returning to the eastern continent, since in the west he could not get what he was looking for his class change. Gref, the pioneer is very focused on it. Jack, for my taste, he is more focused on that than on his pioneer missions. The tower will soon make him see reason with his forgotten jobs. Gref, the tower was made to be favorable to the pioneer. I don't think they'll give him more than a little scolding. Sarah, for now I think we should focus on these people. Jack, oh, this is really interesting. Gemma, my interest is also in these girls. Miss Rias Gremery is currently fulfilling her role as Yaden's servant. She could become a demon at this rate alongside Aquino. Jack, on the other hand, Miss Asia Argento was selected as a candidate for Santa. Gemma, what about Lavinia? She was chosen to be the heir of winter. Gref, many people are moving, not only players, NPCs too. Count Roman has already started to act. The question is how long it will take to make contact with those two again. Jack, things are getting interesting. Smiles. The real game is about to begin. I see. This one was in Khan's smithy. He had finished forging, so he was currently resting. Ken, the ability of Drake's descendant never ceases to amaze me. Issei, it's not that bad. Thanks to your teachings I was finally able to get the most out of these materials. In the end the result was to my liking. Demon's Head. Item, Legendary. Class, Helmet. Durability, 90,000%. Defense, 50,000. Has the ability to resist dark magic spells. Has the ability to resist demonic energy. Fire resistance increased by 50%. You can see clearly in the dark of the night. Increases damage to enemies with holy attribute by 50%. Damage taken from holy attribute attacks is increased by 50%. Increases speed by 50%. It was made from the bones of the flame demon, they retained a bit of its fighting spirit. Ken, it's definitely a work of art. Issei, it's a shame that the damage received from sacred attacks increases, but it's normal, considering that Yaden's darkness was made to devour Rebecca's light, in turn that Rebecca's light was made to destroy Yaden's darkness. I suppose that just as I can cause 50% more damage, they can also do the same to me. It's a double-edged sword. But I don't expect to get into trouble with the church, or at least I don't want things to end badly between the two of us. Devil's Chest Piece. Item, Legendary. Class, Breastplate. Durability, 100,000%. Defense, 62,000. Has the ability to resist dark magic spells. Has the ability to resist demonic energy. Increases damage to enemies with holy attribute by 50%. Damage taken from holy attribute attacks is increased by 50%. You have a 50% chance to generate a dark explosion on the enemy that hits you. Dark explosion causes stun. Dark explosion causes blindness. Agility, mobility, and speed are increased by 50%. Breastplate created from bones and demon skin fused with metal. Inside it still carries the memory of its defense, stopping the swords of many enemies with its skin. Demon Gauntlets. Item, Legendary. Class, Gauntlets. Durability, 70,000%. Defense, 30,000. Damage, 9,350. Increases damage to enemies with holy attribute by 50%. Damage taken from holy attribute attacks is increased by 50%. You have a 50% chance of generating Demon's Wrath, which doubles strength by 60%. Grip strength increases by 80%. Gauntlets created from bones and demon skin, they hold the memories of their last fight. Demon Boots. Item, Legendary. Class Boots. Durability, 60,000%. Defense, 20,000. Damage, 6,789. Increases damage to enemies with Holy Attribute by 50%. Damage taken from Holy Attribute attacks is increased by 50%. Increases speed, movement, and agility by 80%. Speed at night is doubled. Boots created from demon skin, these boots carry the speed of a demon dedicated to battle. Black Moon Sword. Item, Legendary. Class Light Sword. Durability, 100,000%. Damage, 17,750. Has the ability to imbue itself with any aura. Sword damage is doubled if aura is used. Damage may increase further depending on aura. There is a 30% chance that the sword will cause confusion when cutting enemies. You can temporarily use the Dark Aura for 5 minutes when carrying the sword. Dark Aura increases attack by 70%. There is a 20% chance that killing a demon will absorb demonic energy. When swinging it, there is a 30% chance of generating waves of dark energy. Sword damage is doubled at night. This sword was created by a skilled blacksmith, fusing his ancient sword with the bones of a demon. These bones still carry great hatred. Whoever carries the sword will enter a state of bloodlust against his will and begin to kill without mercy. Ken, the sword is dangerous. Are you sure you can handle it? Issei, no problem, grabs her. You have resisted. When check if. Issei, well, I'll meet with Vala before leaving. I have to deliver my last job to him. Looks at the cape. Ken accompanied Issei to the square. Days before they agreed to meet there, both had planned to see his creations and give some gifts. When Issei arrived, he could see his brother. Apparently he had managed to make many things of good quality, and Vala thought the same. Vali, you also got legendary quality equipment. Issei, yes, I have the complete set for combat, and you? Vala, in my case I opted for 3 things for myself: a necklace that absorbs mana from nature and stores it, a storage bracelet, and magic boots. Large Magic Reserve Necklace. Item, Legendary. Class, Necklace. Mana Storage Capacity, 100,000%. Mana currently stored, 10,000% and in progress. Mana absorption rate in nature increases by 70%. Mana transfer speed to mage increased by 80%. A mana storage necklace, created by a great artifact creator. Mana is constantly stored until full. Wizard Boots. Item, Legendary. Class, Magic Boots. Durability, 20,000%. Defense, 10,000. Spell casting speed increased by 50%. Mana recovery speed increased by 90%. There is a 50% chance to reduce the casting time of a spell by half. Movement speed increases by 90% if they are imbued with mana. Magical boots created by a skilled artifact maker. Storage bracelet. Item, Legendary. Class, Magic Bracelet. Storage capacity, 10,000. It can store up to 10,000 objects. You can store items that cannot be stored in the inventory. Created by a great gadget creator for great mobility and comfort. Issei, I was wondering what the bracelet was for, but seeing the description I can now understand. Vali, yes, there are items that we cannot store in our personal inventory, especially the larger ones, so I thought of creating a second inventory so I wouldn't have to worry about it. Issei, you definitely did well. Vala, by the way, take this. Issei, is this a necklace? Vala, one that will suit you. Fire necklace. Item, Legendary. Class, Consumable Necklace. Fire energy contained, 100%. Fire energy given, 0%. A necklace created with the aim of transferring the energy of the fire jewel to the person, in a safer and more effective way. This method was developed by an innovative genius creator of artifacts. There is a high probability that whoever wears the necklace, upon finishing absorbing its energy, will develop an aura of fire. Issei, this is it. Vali, a single-use object, take it as a farewell gift. Issei, thanks, puts it on his neck. Attention. Your body began to absorb the fire energy. Progress. Fire energy absorbed 1%. Vala, how are you? Issei, it's already started to take effect, the absorption rate is still 1. Vali, the process can take a long time, I recommend not removing the necklace. Issei, okay, by the way, here. Vala, a cape? Issei, a perfect one for you. Demonic cloak. Item, legendary. Class, layer. Durability, 20,000%. Defense, 10,000. Increases mana regeneration effectiveness by 90%. Increases spell casting speed by 80%. Grants a 30% chance that when casting spells one of them is imbued with dark magic. Spells imbued with dark magic deal double damage. Grants 100% resistance against dark magic. Grants 60% resistance against demonic energy. Mana regeneration is doubled at night. Damage taken from holy magic is increased by 50%. Vali, with this I won't have to worry about running out of mana. Issei, correct, with the necklace artifact in your possession and with the cape, for your current level you shouldn't have to worry about running out of mana if you get into fights. Vali, it's an excellent gift, thank you. Issei, you're welcome, now I guess it's time to go. Ken, one more thing, Issei, did you take the arrows that you made? Issei, yes. Samir, and you Vala took the mana bombs? Vala, you are. Ken, it seems that you are well prepared, I wish you a good trip, I hope to see you soon. Issei, thank you. Samir, I hope to have you back to create new innovative artifacts. Vala, so it will be. The two slowly walked away from the place, until they stood in front of the gates of the kingdom. Vala, by the way, you are not an archer, what did you do with the arrows? Issei, I put them up for sale at auction, along with other things. Vali, I understand, I put my bombs up for sale too. Issei, I hope to win a lot of gold, I want to eat meat this week. Vali, with the quality of our work, we won't have to worry about that. Issei, then see you soon, brother. Vala, see you? Both would separate without knowing that soon, they would become the center of several events. Capital of the Kingdom of Light. Irina, these arrows, for whom they were made. Asia, Irina, calm down please. Zenobia, it's not just the arrows, look at these swords, all of epic quality plus, they're all made of a common metal, but they do more damage than the mithril ones. Capital of the Moon Kingdom. Lavina, these magic bombs are amazing, I wonder who made them? Dark Dungeon. Rias, Aquino, how is the auction going? Aquino, all the magical and non-magical quality equipment in this auction is far superior to expectations. There are even good quality daggers, reaching the epic class. Rias, who auctions something like that? Aquino, epic equipment is in high demand now, whoever made it must be someone very important. Rias, as members of the Yatan Church, these weapons will give us an advantage, no matter the price we must obtain the majority we can. Aquino, I'm on it. The Empire. Aiden, by all those guns, a deal like this doesn't come along every day, and Rose. Rose, yes, Mr. Aiden? Aiden, find out the identity of those who auctioned off these weapons no matter how. Rose, I'll do my best. Those two didn't realize that they had unleashed a storm. Arc 1, the game begins. Finished.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.